Douluo, update the terms, start with incredible luck. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 126, End of the Assessment, Lin Zhu's Hypnosis Assessment. Uncle, our academy only recruits students under 25 years old. Lin Jian frowned slightly, looked at the big man, and said in a surprised voice. I thought it would be a suitable academy, but I didn't expect it to be another troublemaker. The big man held his head high and said in a loud voice, Who are you calling uncle? I'm 23 years old. What, 23 years old? It must be fake. Everyone heard the words and exclaimed again. Okay, you come to test it, Lin Jian said helplessly. Bone age 23 years old, innate level 7 soul power 41 level. After the test, Lin Jian was extremely surprised and said with his mouth open. Okay, you go in first, someone will arrange a second test for you. Then, Lin Jian quickly retracted his expression and continued. Okay, Oro was strong and nodded and walked into the academy. At this time, some people who were not optimistic about Oro were frustrated again. How is it possible? 23 years old, he must be over 25 years old. Hey, don't be unconvinced. Didn't you see that the teachers of Monster Academy have measured their age by touching bones? How could it be fake? Hey, don't tell me. This Monster Academy is really lucky today. There are actually young soul masters willing to join them. They are still young? I don't know the strength of our old academy. What kind of foundation can a newly opened academy have? The spies sent by other elemental academies discussed. Who are you? From Blazing Fire and Elephant Armor Academy, the people from the Divine Wind Academy heard what they were talking about and asked curiously. Yes, who are you? We are from the Divine Wind Academy. Ha. Your academy also attaches importance to this matter, the people from Blazing Fire and Elephant Armor Academy asked with a smile. Yes, since the dean learned that Poison Douluo was in charge of this new academy, he has been sending us to observe secretly. Ha. Fellow disciples, look over there. People from Thunder Academy and Heaven Dao Academy are also here, a student from Blazing Fire Academy said, pointing to a place not far away. Ha. Okay, let's not talk about it for now. I still have to record everything that happened today and report it to the dean, the person from the Kamikaze Academy continued. At this time, after Oro successfully passed the first level of the assessment, he also attracted the attention of Lin Feng. System, Entry Exploration, Name, Oro. Age. 23 years old, innate soul power, level 7, martial soul, sausage, high level, soul power, level 41, entry, superb cooking, green, outstanding talent, purple. Lin Feng looked at the information on the big man's panel. When he saw that his martial soul was actually sausage, he couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. This martial soul. Could it be that it has something to do with Oscar? I have already acquired Shrek Academy in a package before, and I don't know where Oscar will go in the future. At the same time, good news came from Lin Zhu. Innate level 8, congratulations, you passed the assessment. Lin Zhu's face was filled with a satisfied smile, and she said to the girl in front of her with eyes full of relief. Although the academy relaxed the age limit for this enrollment, it was the first year after all, and they strived to recruit talents of all ages. But unfortunately, it was not the traditional start of the school year, and many outstanding talents had already been picked up by other academies. It would be good to have a few people. Most of those who came to take the assessment came for Dugubo's illustrious name. Most of them had a wishful thinking in their hearts. If they could be admitted by the academy, they would drop out of their original school. If they were not selected, they would go back to continue their studies. Soon, the assessment continued until the end of the evening. Until the end, the academy successfully recruited 5 soul masters, plus Xuanzi and Aoluo. Since the soul sect students had just participated in the Soul Master League the year before last, they were basically about to graduate, so they would not easily transfer to other schools. However, Lin Feng selected some high-quality purple entries from hundreds of ordinary green entries, and the harvest was quite fruitful. The crowd gradually dispersed. Since the enrollment is over, I will take my people away first. If you need any help, please ask our royal family, Prince Zuxing said respectfully to Dugubo. Okay, then I won't keep you any longer, the enrollment has just ended, and I still have many things to deal with here. Dugu waved his hand in response. Okay, Senior Dugu, see you later. After that, Prince Zuxing led his people to the outside of the academy. Dugu also turned around with Flanders and walked towards the office in the academy. Second uncle, please send someone to take note of those dozen people. At this time, Lin Feng walked to the side of the second uncle who had not left the entrance of the academy, pointed to the figures leaving in the distance, and whispered. Let's contact them privately later and try to win them over. The second uncle looked puzzled. Seeing this, Lin Feng continued to explain. They have special physiques and are very suitable for taking spiritual medicine. After hearing this, the second uncle believed it and nodded in agreement. At this time, Lin Feng thought about the many purple entry information he had collected, and had a longer-term plan in his mind. Now, the purpose of gathering these people with purple entries together is not just for the present, but to build an entry incubator to create conditions for refreshing rarer golden entries in the future. Besides, he still has a golden entry in his hand that has not been used yet, and he will use it when he breaks through the Soul Emperor realm. Although he has twin martial souls, he can only absorb 30,000-year soul rings at most now. For twin martial souls, the age is too low. Lin Feng plans to add soul rings to the second soul ring after the level is higher. The crowd left one after another. A crowd in the distance has not yet dispersed. No, what kind of shit luck is this monster academy? Today, several soul masters have joined them. Yeah, the dean and the elders will probably be furious again when they go back. The academy has multiple powerful competitors now. Forget it, let's go back first and tell the dean and others about what happened today. Several spies from the academy gathered together and talked. Inside the academy, a room with simple but solemn decoration. The 7 people who passed the first round of the test sat together awkwardly, and the air was filled with a tense atmosphere. They had just experienced an examination during the day, and they were very excited about the second one. At this moment, Lin Feng walked in with a steady step. Hello, examiner. Seeing this, the 7 people immediately stood up and greeted respectfully. Now, they already knew Lin Feng's identity, the son of Marshal Xiandao, and also one of the examiners. The second round is very simple, everyone don't have to worry too much. Lin Feng smiled and signaled that they don't have to be nervous, and said in a relaxed tone. After that, he turned and walked into the inner room and gently closed the door. In the room, Lin Zhu, Lin Jian and others had been waiting for a long time. It's time to start. Lin Feng looked at Lin Jian and nodded slightly. Next, Zhang Feng, Lin Jian received the order, opened the door and shouted loudly. The young man named Zhang Feng took a deep breath, trying to calm his inner tension, then stood up and walked into the room steadily. Lin Jian then closed the door. As soon as Zhang Feng entered the room, he saw Lin Feng sitting at the table with a calm expression. Beside Lin Feng, the familiar Lin Zhu stood quietly. Zhang Feng's eyes accidentally met Lin Zhu's. In an instant, he felt dizzy, and an invisible force instantly pulled him into a deep black hole, and his consciousness gradually blurred. This is exactly Lin Zhu's illusion technique. Anyone who enters the illusion and is confused must speak the truth. Why do you want to join the Monster Academy? Are you an undercover sent by other forces? Do you have any bad intentions towards the Monster Academy? Seeing this, Lin Feng asked softly. Chapter 127 Exposed. Spirit Hall Spy. I really want to be in the academy and improve myself here. I'm not an undercover agent and I don't have any bad thoughts, Zhang Feng answered with a dull look in his eyes. After listening, Lin Feng turned to look at Lin Zhu and nodded slightly. Lin Zhu's ability is really a big help, the second uncle couldn't help but sigh. Now, Lin Zhu's mental power has reached the level of Soul King. Under the Soul King, her hypnosis is almost invincible. After a while, Zhang Feng woke up slowly, and it felt like only a moment. However, before he could recover, a strong soul pressure came over him. Zhang Feng gritted his teeth and fought hard. The veins on his forehead bulged, but he couldn't hold on after all. Okay, you passed. Just when he was about to give up, Lin Feng's voice came, and the soul pressure disappeared at the same time. Thank you, Examiner. Zhang Feng suddenly showed joy on his face, as if relieved. He looked at Lin Feng gratefully, turned around and left the room happily. This so-called soul power pressure is just a pretense test. As long as you can reach the normal level, you can pass it smoothly. It is just to hide Lin Zhu's hypnosis. How is it? What is the second level test? Is it difficult? As soon as Zhang Feng came out, the people waiting outside immediately surrounded him and asked questions. Zhang Feng panted and briefly recounted his experience just now. After listening, everyone was nervous and expectant. Next, Li Yang. At this time, the door of the inner room opened again, and Lin Jian shouted. Li Yang stood up, took a deep breath, and walked into the room nervously. As soon as he entered the room, he stared at the people in front of him with full concentration, not daring to slack off. However, when his eyes touched Lin Zhu, it was as if he was cast under a spell, and his eyes instantly became empty. Why did you come to the Monster Academy? Do you have other purposes? Seeing this, Lin Feng asked again. Li Yang's eyes were blurred, and he said slowly, I joined the academy because I was ordered by the Spirit Hall to investigate the specific situation of the Monster Academy and report to the Spirit Hall. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the room froze instantly. After hearing the confession of the hypnotized person, everyone looked at each other in surprise. Lin Wuming's face was full of shock and anger. He never thought that someone would dare to plant spies in the admissions examination of the Monster Academy. Lin Feng looked solemn, his brows were furrowed, and his eyes were staring at the hypnotized person. Who sent you? What is the specific mission? Who are your accomplices? He slowly took 2 steps forward, bent down, approached the man, and asked in a low voice with unquestionable majesty. I was sent by a deacon of the Spirit Hall to infiltrate the academy, collect as much information as possible about the academy, including the strength of the students, the teaching methods of the academy, and the faculty. Also, check whether the academy has any signs of involvement with other forces. As for accomplices, I only know that there are 2 other people who were also sent to take the assessment, but I don't know their identities and specific tasks. Under the powerful hypnosis of Lin Zhu, Li Yang's eyes were blurred and he said mechanically, then what is your way of conveying information? Is there an agreed meeting place and time? Lin Feng narrowed his eyes slightly, a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes, and continued to ask. The man paused and continued, if there is important news, I will write the information on a special piece of paper, then hide it in the tree hole of an old locust tree 3 miles outside the academy, and they will check it regularly. The meeting time is not fixed. Only when there is urgent and important news will we agree to meet under the old locust tree. Are you sure that's all? Is there anything else missing? Lin Feng straightened up, crossed his arms, and asked again after thinking for a moment. No more, I've said everything I know. The man shook his head woodenly and said. At this time, the atmosphere in the room was so oppressive that it made people breathless. Everyone listened quietly to the conversation between Lin Feng and the hypnotized person, and they had a better understanding of the sinister intentions of the Spirit Hall. The Spirit Hall is going too far. How dare they reach out to our academy? Was the first to break the silence and said angrily. With the ambition of the Spirit Hall, it is normal to do such a thing. They have been planning for a long time, trying to control the soul master resources of the entire Douluo Continent. The emergence of our Monster Academy is undoubtedly part of their normal plan. Lin Feng shook his head slightly, his eyes deep, and said slowly. After hearing this, Bo's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. Obviously, Lin Feng's analysis made him have a deeper understanding of the sinister intentions of the Spirit Hall. Then should we pretend that we didn't notice it, so as not to alert the enemy? Bo said hesitantly with worry in his heart. No need, we have a Titled Douluo in charge of our sect. Are we afraid of them? What's the big deal if we find a spy? Lin Feng responded with a firm look and a resolute tone. According to the timeline, the Spirit Hall is not ready yet, and it is impossible to alert the enemy. After that, Lin Feng signaled Lin Zhu to stop hypnotizing. Yes, young master. After Lin Zhu slowly withdrew the soul power in her hand, Li Yang woke up slowly. Before he could fully come to his senses, a strong soul pressure came like a mountain. What? Li Yang was shocked, his legs softened, and he knelt on the ground with a thump, and beads of sweat rolled down his forehead. Lin Feng said coldly, You failed, my lord, please give me another chance. I will definitely pass. Li Yang was stunned for a moment, his mind was blank, he didn't expect that he would fail so quickly. But when he thought that this was an important task assigned to him by the Spirit Hall, he begged bitterly. HMPH, opportunities are not something you can get just because you want them. Lin Jian, take him away. Lin Feng refused mercilessly. Yes, young master. Lin Jian stepped forward, grabbed his arm, and dragged him out. Give me a chance, sir. Li Yang struggled and kept begging for mercy. Outside the door, the people waiting for the test were shocked when they saw this scene. This person actually failed. Didn't they say the test was simple? Then wouldn't we? Several people whispered. Hearing this, the others also became nervous. I thought the test would be as simple as Zhang Feng said, but I didn't expect the second one to fail. How is it possible? I clearly took a simple test. Is this person so bad? Zhang Feng was surprised to see Li Yang being taken away. In the Monster Academy square, Lin Jian took Li Yang out and handed him over to Zhao Wuji, and returned to find Lin Feng to continue the test. Li Yang, who was taken out, was thrown out of the academy gate by Zhao Wuji like trash. Chapter 128 Vice President of Monster Academy, Lin Feng. Teacher Zhao, please give me a chance. Li Yang fell to his knees again with a thump and begged bitterly. Our Monster Academy is not a place where you can enter just because you want to. If you didn't pass, you didn't pass. Get out. After Zhao Wuji finished shouting, he turned around without hesitation and asked the guard to close the gate of the academy. Li Yang stood up disappointedly and patted the dust off his body. Someone actually failed. I thought I would definitely be able to enter after passing the first level. This is really big news. In the distance, several blurry figures saw this scene and were full of surprise. Li Yang, why is it you? Li Yang left disappointedly. As soon as he turned a corner, he was grabbed by someone's arm. This person was apparently Li Yang's parent, but in fact he was a member of the Spirit Hall. I didn't pass the second level. Li Yang looked at him in horror and stammered nervously. Waste. You can't even do this. The other party cursed after hearing this. Don't blame me. The test was too difficult. Almost no one could pass it. There will definitely be more people coming out later. Li Yang defended himself aggrievedly. You dare to fool me? Do you think I wasn't watching you today? So far, you're the only one who has come out. You're really embarrassing for our Wuhan Hall team. With a loud slap hit Li Yang's face. At this time, in the room, Oro finished the test and walked out. It doesn't seem to be very difficult. He breathed a sigh of relief, with a relaxed smile on his face, and said. At this time, everyone had basically finished the test, and only Zhuanzi was left. Congratulations, Zhuanzi, you should do your best too. Everyone congratulated each other, and the atmosphere gradually became relaxed. Zhuanzi, Lin Jian shouted loudly. Zhuanzi took a deep breath and walked into the room steadily. After experiencing Lin Zu's heart-searching test. Zhuanzi, eat it, it may make your Wuhan evolve. Lin Feng smiled and took out a pill and said to Zhuanzi. Thank you, examiner. After hearing this, Zhuanzi was immediately excited. He was ready to take the pill with trembling hands and said gratefully. Oh, no hurry, this pill is just a possibility. Maybe the awakening will fail. Examiner, I have been an orphan since I was a child. I have never expected to study at the Soul Master Academy. Working in a hotel is just a way to survive in this world. If the academy had not appreciated my ability today, I am afraid that my life would be mediocre. Even if there is only a glimmer of hope, I am grateful. After saying that, Zhuanzi took the pill from Lin Feng without hesitation and swallowed it. As soon as the pill was swallowed, Zhuanzi felt a warm current flowing through his veins, and a layer of faint white light appeared all over his body. In fact, this pill is just a pill made from rare spiritual medicine to enhance soul power, which cannot be compared with fairy grass. Examiner, what is this? Zhuanzi asked in confusion. This is a normal phenomenon of your martial soul changing. Close your eyes, turn your back and sit cross-legged. I will clear your soul power for you, Lin Feng ordered calmly. Okay. After Zhuanzi sat down, Lin Feng's expression was calm, and he silently said in his heart, System, change the entry, Ling. The entry was successfully changed, as the system voice slowly fell. The soul power in Zhuanzi's body was like a turbulent tsunami, instantly raising a storm. A thick black mist like ink suddenly surged around him, and the mist swirled at a very fast speed, and in the blink of an eye, it tightly wrapped Zhuanzi. Lin Feng, Dean Dugu was looking for. Just at this moment, Liu Erlong had just stepped into the room. The strange and shocking scene in front of her made her pause and frown. What's going on? Then, a trace of doubt flashed in Liu Erlong's eyes, and he couldn't help but ask. Lin Zhu saw Erlong and walked to Liu Erlong's side with light steps. She slightly turned sideways, leaned close to her ear, and explained in a low voice, Senior Erlong, this is Zhuanzi's martial soul mutation. Hearing this, Liu Erlong's eyes widened, and her face was full of incredible shock. Her eyes were fixed on the black mist, and she couldn't help but sigh in her heart. How come the people around Lin Feng are more unimaginable than each other? Could it be that martial soul mutation can be controlled artificially now? Suddenly, a deafening roar suddenly came from the black mist. Then, the black mist was torn apart as if by an invisible giant hand, and a majestic and imposing Tao de God bull appeared in front of everyone. This Tao de God bull has a huge body, with muscles coiled like a dragon, exuding a powerful ancient aura. Muffled, the Tao de God bull roared to the sky, the sound shook the 4 fields, and there was a fascinating light in his eyes. Xuanzi was surprised to feel the transformation of his martial soul, and his heart was filled with joy. Taodi? Isn't this the legendary ancient beast? The second uncle Lin Wuming was the first to see the mutated martial soul, and couldn't help but say, the pressure of this Taodi martial soul is even stronger than my top-level martial soul, the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex. Hearing this, Liu Erlong's eyes were full of shock, his lips trembled slightly, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. Under the pressure of this powerful martial soul, the air in the room seemed to become sticky. Everyone felt that breathing became a little difficult, and everyone's heart was filled with an indescribable awe. Only Lin Feng slowly stood up, smiling, and watched Xuanzi's changes. Thank you, Examiner. At this time, Xuanzi quickly put away his martial soul, walked forward and said gratefully to Lin Feng. At this time, his soul power also successfully broke through to level 18. Yes, study hard in the academy in the future. Lin Feng smiled and patted his shoulder, encouraging him. Lin Feng estimated that Xuanzi's talent should have been greatly improved. After all, the innate soul power is closely linked to the strength of the martial soul, and the evolution of the martial soul will inevitably improve the talent for cultivation. Congratulations to Xuanzi for joining the academy, Lin Feng said with a smile. Congratulations. Lin Zhu and Lin Jian also stepped forward to congratulate. Xiao Feng, from now on, you are the vice president of the Monster Academy. At this time, the second uncle stepped forward, handed a token to Lin Feng, and said, just now, Senior Dugu asked me to come here to inform you of this matter. From now on, when you go out to introduce yourself, you don't need to use the son of the Lin family. You can directly say the vice president of the Monster Academy, Lin Feng, Liu Erlong said teasingly, making a bell-like laugh. Grandpa is quite thoughtful. Lin Feng took the token handed over by the second uncle with a smile. President Lin. Instantly, several people all bowed and praised him respectfully. Hearing this, Lin Feng looked down at the token and sighed. Unknowingly, he also had a position in the academy. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 129, School Turbulence, Conquering Zhaowuji. Late at night, in the Yuhuo Chamber of Commerce. The Yuhuo Chamber of Commerce, which was originally the largest local chamber of commerce, is now facing a more and more difficult life under the commercial impact of the Lin family. Son, don't be sad, isn't it just that you didn't pass? Go home and inherit your father's Chamber of Commerce in the future. The head of the Chamber of Commerce, Sujin, patted his son on the shoulder. He wanted his son to enroll in the Monster Academy, but he failed. At this time, his son Su Liang was sitting aside, his face full of sadness. At this time, the servant hurried in to report. Master, the second elder of the Lin family, Yi Wuming, is here. Please come into the meeting room quickly, Sujin heard and said hurriedly. Soon, the two met in the meeting room. After Yi Wuming exchanged a few simple greetings with Sujin, he went straight to the point and asked, is your child willing to go to the Monster Academy? Sujin was stunned, and then asked in confusion, didn't my child fail? Is there still a chance? You can enroll as a special case, Yi Wuming said with a smile. What are the requirements? Sujin asked hurriedly. The condition is that your Chamber of Commerce must change its name from now on. It can no longer be called the Fire Control Chamber of Commerce. As soon as the voice fell, Sujin was delighted, thinking that this was the only request. He had originally thought of changing the name because of the commercial impact of the Lin family. After all, Fire Control City has become the fiefdom of the Lin family, so how could he be qualified to use this name? Now that the Lin family has taken the initiative to propose it, he can't refuse it. Okay, I agree, so Sujin said hurriedly. Okay, Master Su is straightforward. In this case, I won't bother you anymore. Your Excellency can come to enroll tomorrow. After saying that, Yi Wuming turned and left, with a look of ease and pride on his face, and at the same time he couldn't help sighing in his heart. Xia Feng also asked me to make friends with those people, but now the family is not what it used to be. They want to get on our way. If I want to make friends with them, I really have to put on the airs of the Marcus mansion. Son, guess what good news I brought back to you? Su Jin returned to his son's room and said proudly. Father, please stop keeping me in suspense. I'm just annoyed, Su Liang said with a worried look on his face. Son, Monster Academy has agreed to let you enroll. You can register tomorrow. What? Really, Father? Yes, the second elder of the Lin family just came to me and told me. Great, Su Liang jumped up with joy after hearing the news. At the same time, in the meeting hall of Kamikaze Academy, Dean Kamikaze sat on a wooden chair beside him, looking at the distance with a worried look. Look at them. There are more than a dozen talented students standing at the door alone. There are so many talented people, we in Kamikaze Academy can only put our hope of winning on you. Xia Ocean, when he heard that Monster Academy had recruited 6 students with innate level 7 spirit power or above. He looked into the distance and slowly turned his gaze to Feng Xia Ocean beside him, and said with emotion. Don't worry, Dean, any enemy standing in front of me will be defeated by me. Feng Xia Ocean, who was standing aside, said loudly with full confidence. Well, you are indeed a genius of the younger generation of our academy. As the dean, I am satisfied with your kindness. Dean Shenfeng looked at Feng Xia Ocean, nodded with satisfaction, and said. After all, Feng Xia Ocean is born with full soul power and is the hope of the academy. Of course, except Ho Wu. Just when Dean Shenfeng was still happy, Feng Xia Ocean continued. You, go and practice more. Dean Shenfeng was immediately so angry at Feng Xia Ocean's words that his beard fluttered, and he shouted sternly. Xianshu Academy. It's ridiculous. If martial soul mutation can be changed so easily, I don't know how many more geniuses there will be in the whole continent, the elder said disdainfully when he heard that Monster Academy recruited students with martial soul mutation. I think Monster Academy is not simple. They have several students with martial soul mutation, but they only accepted Xuanzi. Xuanzi must have something special. The second elder on the side frowned and responded seriously. Xuanzi, well, you immediately send someone to secretly investigate the information of all the schools in this Monster Academy, the elder sneered and ordered. On the other side, the branch hall of the Spirit Hall. In a hidden secret room. Could it be that the plan was exposed? Otherwise why did he fail alone? The deacon of the branch hall looked at Li Yang who was kneeling and trembling below, and muttered in a low voice. But he soon gave up the idea. Send someone to try again next time, maybe it was just a coincidence. Li Yang, go down first. The deacon simply waved his hand and said. Yes, thank you for not punishing me. Li Yang kowtowed in gratitude, stood up and left quickly. The next day, Monster Academy. In a spacious and bright office. Lin Feng sat at the table, playing with an exquisite brush in his hand, and his eyes revealed a trace of thought. Come here, please invite teacher Zhao Wuji over. He raised his head slightly and shouted to the outside of the door. Although the voice was not loud, it carried an unquestionable majesty. A moment later, the burly Zhao Wuji strode into the office. Dean, Zhao Wuji greeted him with a bow as soon as he entered the room. Lin Feng looked Zhao Wuji up and down, and his panel information appeared in front of him again. 39 years old, 68th level Soul Emperor, innate level 8 soul power. I didn't pay close attention last time. Zhao Wuji's innate level 8 soul power has refreshed to full innate soul power. His potential is really amazing. Teacher Zhao, what do you think of these students of my Lin family? Lin Feng said with a warm smile on his face. Zhao Wuji was slightly stunned when he heard it, and then he thought seriously. After a moment, he said, well, they are all very good, especially Lin Jian and the others. They are very talented and will become great in the future. Lin Jian and the others can have such talent because they have taken a kind of magic grass. Lin Feng nodded gently and continued. Magic grass, is it because of this that their talent and strength are so strong? Zhao Wuji widened his eyes in surprise, his face full of disbelief. Teacher Zhao, you, Akalanatha, are also a well-known figure in the world of soul masters. Have you ever thought that if you also have the help of immortal herbs, your strength may be even stronger than theirs? Lin Feng looked at Zhao Wuji's reaction, and was secretly satisfied in his heart, and continued. Dean, why are you telling me this? Zhao Wuji was shocked, and a trace of doubt flashed in his eyes. and he couldn't help asking. Ha ha ha, I won't beat around the bush, I want to invite Teacher Zhao to join my Lin family. Lin Feng looked directly into Zhao Wuji's eyes and said slowly. As he spoke, Lin Feng took out an immortal herb from his arms and handed it to Zhao Wuji. The immortal herb exuded a soft light and a refreshing fragrance, which made people feel refreshed. Zhao Wuji stared at the immortal herb in front of him, and a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes, but he was very entangled in his heart. Just for this immortal herb, he had to sell himself? This is a major decision related to his future. Chapter 130, Soul Evolution, Dark Gold or Claw Bear. This magical herb, can it really help people improve their talents? After hesitating for a moment, Zhao Wuji asked. Teacher Zhao, why don't you take it first and then decide whether to join my Lin family? Lin Feng smiled and said. Hearing this, Zhao Wuji opened his mouth slightly in surprise, and for a moment he didn't dare to step forward to take the magical herb handed over by Lin Feng. Dean Lin actually trusted him so much that he could give him such a precious thing as this magical herb. Thinking of this, Zhao Wuji was somewhat moved, and after thinking for a while, he finally made up his mind. Okay, then I'll try it. He gritted his teeth, took the magical herb, and said. Zhao Wuji sat cross-legged and put the magical herb into his mouth. Not long after, a powerful energy burst out in his body. Seeing this, Lin Feng immediately said in his heart. System, change the entry, Ling. The entry was successfully changed. As the system's voice fell, Zhao Wuji's body began to change dramatically, and the martial spirit, the powerful King Kong bear, suddenly appeared. At the same time, beads of sweat began to slide down Zhao Wuji's face. Suddenly, the skin color of the powerful diamond bear began to change, from the original brown to dark gold, and the bear claws were much wider than before. Lin Feng was surprised to see the changes in Zhao Wuji's martial soul. He didn't expect that Zhao Wuji's martial soul would evolve into a dark gold fear claw bear, which is a powerful soul beast second only to the real dragon. At the same time, the soul power in Zhao Wuji's body was also rising rapidly, breaking through level 70 like a surging tide, and his body was even trained to be indestructible. Roar! After a roar of the bear, Zhao Wuji slowly opened his eyes and was shocked by the earth-shaking changes in his body. Mr. Lin, I have no way to repay you for your kindness. I am willing to serve you. At this time, Zhao Wuji knelt on one knee and said to Lin Feng. Teacher Zhao, please get up quickly. Why don't you be my bodyguard in the future? Seeing this, Lin Feng quickly got out of his desk, stepped forward to help Zhao Wuji up, and said. In the morning, the sun filled the playground of the college. On the playground, more than 20 students stood in a row. Lin Long stood in front of the students, his expression serious but kind. Zhao Wuji, Liu Erlong and others who had just returned from Lin Feng's office were standing by. Students, although you have entered the academy with your outstanding talents, you should know that the real road of cultivation has just begun. Here, I want to ask everyone a question. Do you understand what cultivation is? Lin Long cleared his throat, kept everyone in suspense, and spoke. What does this teacher mean? Everyone can cultivate, that's right, we are all gifted people. Everyone heard this and whispered. Teacher, what do you think this cultivation is? Suddenly, a student asked Lin Long loudly. At the end of the team, Su Liang, the son of the Yuhao Chamber of Commerce, was very excited. He looked at the students around him with curiosity. This is the Monster Academy. I thought I would miss this student. Today, I will teach you a set of breathing techniques to show you what the real way of cultivation is. This breathing technique combined with the way of breathing can make your soul power flow along a specific route, thereby quickly improving your soul power cultivation speed. Lin Long did not seem to care about the students' discussions and continued. Hearing this, the students also calmed down and listened carefully. Sink the key into the dantian and feel the location of the soul power in your body, take a deep breath, and then inject the soul power into the meridians. Of course, what he said was not the experience handed over to the family, but some superficial knowledge. Although the effect of improving the speed of cultivation is not very obvious, it can help people better control this soul power. The explanation is over, and then you can practice on your own. If you don't understand, you can ask me. Lin Long looked at everyone and said loudly. This doesn't sound difficult, come on, let's try it. As he said, several people began to sit cross-legged and imitated Lin Long to mobilize the soul power cloud around them. No, why can't I control the flow of soul power in my body? At this time, a student gritted his teeth and said with difficulty. Teacher, Suddenly, the student gasped and asked Lin Long for help. Hearing this, Lin Long walked towards the student quickly. Calm down and feel it carefully. Lin Long immediately injected a trace of his own soul power into the student's body, guiding the flow of soul power in his body. After a while, the student's breath began to gradually stabilize. At the same time, Zhao Wuji, Liu Long, Flanders, and 2 teachers from the Lin family also shuttled back and forth among more than 20 students, patiently guiding them. An hour of practice passed. The students were surprised to find that according to the method taught by Lin Long, the flow of soul power was indeed much smoother. The speed of soul power improvement also became a little faster. Did you know that this breathing technique has such an effect? At this time, Dugu Yan stood up and walked to Lin Feng, who was standing and watching, and said, "It didn't take long to find out. Teacher Lin Long is very experienced and is a rare good teacher. You should listen to him more," Lin Feng said with a smile. Indeed, Yi Lingling also came over and nodded in agreement. Lin Feng looked at the students practicing seriously, nodded with satisfaction, and was very pleased. "Yaner, you and Lingling practice here first, I'll go back to the office to deal with some things." Lin Feng then looked at the 2 and said, "Okay." When Lin Feng just sat down in the office, the spirit travels outside the sky. The spirit flew out of Lin Feng's body again. Now, Zhao Wuji is about to obtain the 7th spirit ring, which corresponds to his martial spirit true body. It would be better to go to the Xingdao Great Forest to investigate first. If it can help him hunt a dark gold fear claw bear, it would be great. Thinking of this, Lin Feng controlled the spirit to travel thousands of miles in an instant and had already arrived at the inner circle of the Xingdao forest. Now that he has the ability of seeing and hearing, it is much easier to find. Lin Feng continued to control his spirit and shuttled through the Xingdao Great Forest. After an afternoon, he finally found a dark gold terror claw bear drinking water by the river. Looking closely, this dark gold terror claw bear had a cultivation of 40,000 years, and its combat power was probably close to that of a 100,000-year soul beast. Blue Lotus Earth Core Fire. Lin Feng observed it from high in the sky for a while, then left a little spark of the Blue Lotus Earth Core Fire nearby, and turned back to the academy. "Teacher Zhao, there is a flame in this jade pendant. The direction it points to is a dark gold terror claw bear that is suitable for you to obtain a soul ring. Take it to find Dean Dugu and ask the Dean to help you obtain a soul ring." After returning to the academy, Lin Feng found Zhao Wuji, handed him a jade pendant, and said, "Thank you, Mr. Lin. Zhao Wuji will definitely live up to your expectations." Zhao Wuji took the jade pendant with both hands, his heart full of gratitude, and said, Chapter 131 The 7th Soul Ring, the true form of the dark gold terror claw bear. Then, Lin Feng briefly explained how to use Zhao Wuji's token, and Zhao Wuji turned and left. On the spacious and bright corridor of the Monster Academy, Zhao Wuji hurriedly walked towards the medicine garden where Dugu lived in the academy with an anxious look. As soon as he stepped into the medicine garden, the strong aroma of medicine came to his nose, and various rare herbs swayed gently in the breeze. Zhao Wuji saw Dugu's figure at a glance. He was concentrating on fiddling with a herb that was red all over and emitting a strange light. "Senior Dugu, I'm sorry to bother you." Zhao Wuji took a deep breath, stepped forward quickly, and said respectfully, "Teacher Zhao, why are you in such a hurry?" Dugu slowly raised his head, moved his eyes away from the herbs, looked at Zhao Wuji, and raised his eyebrows slightly. "Senior, I'm about to get the 7th soul ring, which is very important to me." The young master gave me a jade pendant and pointed out the direction of a dark gold terror claw bear that suits me. I hope you can help me. As he said that, Zhao Wuji carefully took out the jade pendant from his arms and handed it to Dugu. Dugu took the jade pendant, looked at it carefully, and a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes. Interesting, this Xia Feng really knows how to find a time when I am free. I have been busy with the affairs of the academy these days and finally have some free time. The dark gold terror claw bear is an extremely powerful existence. However, with me here, you don't need to worry too much. Then the corners of his mouth rose slightly, revealing a meaningful smile, and said, "Thank you, senior. If I can get this soul ring with your help, Zhao Wuji will definitely remember your great kindness." Zhao Wuji's eyes were full of gratitude, and he hurriedly bowed his hands and said, "Don't rush to thank me. That dark gold terror claw bear is definitely not a good guy. Let's set off now." Dugu waved his hand and said. The two quickly left the academy and headed towards the soul hunting forest. Along the way, Zhao Wuji's mood was like a surging wave, and it was difficult to calm down. This is his 7th soul ring. Dugu, on the other hand, looked indifferent, as if everything was under control. After stepping into the soul-hunting forest, the flame and the jade pendant seemed to be pulled by a mysterious force, shaking slightly, and pointing to a direction deep in the forest. "Senior, in that direction," Zhao Wuji said immediately. The two looked at each other and quickened their pace. As they went deeper into the forest, the surrounding atmosphere became more and more gloomy, and low beast roars were heard from time to time, which made people creepy. Suddenly, the token in Zhao Wuji's hand disappeared, and there was a violent vibration in front of him, and the ground was shaking. "It seems that the dark gold terror claw bear we are looking for is in front," Dugu said with a slight change of expression. The two approached slowly and passed through a dense jungle. A dark gold terror claw bear that was larger than they could imagine appeared in front of them. Its body was as tall as a 3-story building, and it was covered with a thick layer of black hair that exuded a metallic luster. The limbs looked thick and powerful, like 4 huge stone pillars. In the blood-red eyes, there was a flame of rage and killing, and just a glance at each other could make people feel endless fear. It turned out to be a 40,000-year-old dark gold terror claw bear. Its attack power is probably comparable to that of a soul beast of 80,000 or 90,000 years old. Lin Feng really knows how to find things for his grandfather to do. Dugu observed the dark gold terror claw bear carefully, his brows twisted into deep Chuan character, and his tone was solemn. "In order to improve your strength, in order to gain a foothold in the Soul Master world, you have to fight. Even if you die, you can't retreat." Zhao Wuji took a deep breath, his chest heaving violently, trying to calm his pounding heart, and said with a sharp expression. Dugu, who was standing aside, smiled slightly when he heard Zhao Wuji's words. "What courage and momentum! In that case, let me see your strength." At this time, the dark gold terror claw bear who was strolling in front of him seemed to have sensed the invasion of outsiders, and immediately looked in the direction of the two of them vigilantly. "Oh no, Senior, we have been discovered. I'll go first, Senior." The battle broke out instantly, and Zhao Wuji took the lead. Martial soul-possessed, dark gold terror claw bear, he roared to the sky, and his whole body swelled up instantly, with muscles bulging high. In the blink of an eye, his martial soul, the mighty King Kong bear, possessed him, and the hair on his body became thicker and flickered with a faint light. His originally ordinary eyes also turned blood red at this moment, emitting a terrifying murderous light. "Look, I won't deal with you, this evil beast, today." He suddenly leaped forward, like a tiger coming down the mountain, and pounced towards the dark gold terror claw bear, shouting at the same time. Dugu was not to be outdone. He raised his right hand slightly, muttering something. 7th soul skill, martial soul true body. Then, a huge green phosphorus snake king appeared on the spot. The green phosphorus snake king was emerald green all over, and the scales on its body flickered with a strange light. Its eyes were like 2 gems emitting green light, cold and ruthless. 6th soul skill, green phosphorus snake king break. With a low shout from Dugu, the green phosphorus snake king opened its bloody mouth. A thick green poisonous mist gushed out instantly, sweeping away the dark gold terror claw bear. Wherever it went, the grass and trees withered instantly, and the ground was corroded by black pits. Roar! The dark gold terror claw bear was enraged by the sudden attack, and it let out a deafening roar. The sound resounded throughout the forest, and the surrounding trees were trembling with fear. It raised its huge bear paw, and with 1,000 pounds of force, it slapped Zhao Wuji hard. Seeing this, Zhao Wuji quickly dodged sideways. The bear paw brushed past his body, bringing up a strong gust of wind, and cut his clothes in several places. Zhao Wuji was secretly glad in his heart. Fortunately, he was not hurt in the vital parts, and at the same time he also realized the horror of this dark gold terror claw bear. He did not dare to slack off and quickly adjusted his body shape. The 2nd soul skill, dark gold terror claw palm. I saw that his claws were instantly covered with a thick layer of black light, and he grabbed the dark gold terror claw bear's legs. On the other side, the poison quickly spread in front of the dark gold terror claw bear, and the strong effect of the poison caused it to pause. "Teacher Zhao, pay attention to its attack rhythm and look for flaws. I will try my best to contain it." As he spoke, Dugu continued to use poison skills, using poison mist to interfere with the dark gold terror claw bear's vision, while shouting. Hearing this, Zhao Wuji nodded, his eyes becoming more determined. Bang bang bang, Continuous collision sounds rang out, and Zhao Wuji flexibly shuttled around the dark gold terror claw bear, constantly launching attacks. Although each attack can cause certain damage to the dark gold terror claw bear, for this powerful soul beast, these injuries seem to be just superficial injuries. The battle continued. Zhao Wuji gradually felt exhausted and his breathing became rapid. No, I must successfully obtain this soul ring. At this moment, the completely enraged dark gold terror claw bear suddenly jumped high, and then slammed down at Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji was unable to dodge and was hit by the bear paw of the dark gold terror claw bear, and the whole person fell heavily to the ground. Seeing this, Dugu no longer held back. Chapter 132, The Transfer Student of Blazing Academy, Ho Wu arrives. He immediately increased the output of his poison skills, and at the same time, he shouted to Zhao Wuji, "Teacher Zhao, how are you?" "I'm fine, senior, keep going." "I can fight again." Zhao Wuji struggled to get up from the ground, pursed his lips, and his eyes showed an unyielding look. After that, he rushed towards the dark gold terror claw bear again. With the tacit cooperation of the two, the dark gold terror claw bear gradually showed signs of fatigue, and more wounds appeared on his body. Sixth soul skill, Dark Gold Emperor Roar. Zhao Wuji seized the opportunity, and his body was wrapped in a layer of thick black light. A black lightning-like light wave shot out from his mouth and rushed towards the dark gold terror claw bear. The light wave fiercely penetrated the chest of the dark gold terror claw bear. Roar. The dark gold terror claw bear let out a desperate roar, shook its body a few times, and finally fell to the ground. After the dark gold terror claw bear fell to the ground, Zhao Wuji was also exhausted and sat on the ground, with several more wounds on his body. Dugu touched his spirit body, walked up to him quickly, and handed him a pill to restore his soul power. "Thank you, senior." After Zhao Wuji took the pill, he sat cross-legged to heal his wounds. Soon, his soul power was restored to full strength. Then, without stopping, Zhao Wuji began to absorb the soul ring of the dark gold fear claw bear. Dugu stood aside, looking around, and paying attention to Zhao Wuji's absorption. He knew that the process of absorbing soul rings was extremely dangerous. If it was disturbed, it might fail or even endanger his life. As soon as Zhao Wuji came into contact with the energy of the dark gold fear claw bear, he felt that he was in a dark abyss, and endless energy rushed to him like a tide. In an instant, he felt a powerful force erupting in his body, which was the fusion of the power of the soul ring and his own soul power. Beads of sweat slid down his face, and his breathing became rapid. Zhao Wuji clenched his teeth and guided this power with all his strength, allowing it to run along a specific route in his body. Time passed by minute. Zhao Wuji's body sometimes emitted a faint light, and sometimes was shaken by a powerful force. I don't know how long it took. Zhao Wuji, who had adapted to this power, slowly opened his eyes flashing with excitement. "Martial soul true body, dark gold terror claw bear," he shouted, and the whole person instantly turned into a giant bear, covered with black metal hair. In his blood-red eyes, the flames of violence and killing burned. What a dark gold terror claw bear, this momentum is not weaker than that 40,000-year-old beast. Dugu looked at him in surprise and said, "A 40,000-year-old dark gold terror claw bear is equivalent to the strength of a soul Douluo. Senior, I have broken through, and my soul power has reached level 74. Zhao Wuji looked at his changes after absorbing it with surprise. He clenched his fist and swung a claw, and a whistling sound came from the air. The strong wind tore the forest apart, and the trees broke into pieces. "Congratulations, Teacher Zhao, you have successfully broken through." Dugu looked at Zhao Wuji and showed a relieved smile on his face. "Thank you for your help, senior. Without you, I would never have been able to obtain this soul ring so smoothly." Hearing this, Zhao Wuji turned back into a human, looked at Dugu with gratitude, and said, "In this case, let's go back to the academy as soon as possible. It's getting late." Dugu continued. "Yes, senior," Zhao Wuji replied with a bow. At this moment, he couldn't wait to tell the young master the good news. After returning to the academy, Zhao Wuji couldn't suppress his excitement and ran straight to Lin Feng's office like a wild horse. "Young master, I succeeded. I broke through to level 74, he pushed the door open with force, strode in, and shouted excitedly. "Congratulations, Teacher Zhao, in the future, your strength will be the backbone of the academy." Lin Feng raised his head and saw Zhao Wuji's high-spirited appearance. A sincere smile appeared on his face and he said, You are now better than me. You are really young and mighty. When I was practicing, I didn't have such a smooth time as you." At the same time, Flanders, who had been standing by Lin Feng's office, looked at Zhao Wuji with envy in his eyes and said with a wry smile, "Hey, Flanders, you are here too." Zhao Wuji sighed and said awkwardly, "Dean, the students from Chihiro College want to transfer to our college. They heard that our college has unique teaching and rich resources, and hope to let their students come here to study for a while." At this time, Flanders turned to Lin Feng, his expression became serious, and said, "Okay, let them come. More exchanges will also be good for the development of our college. Besides, they may not leave after they come." Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly, thought for a moment, smiled slightly, and nodded. Chihiro College, conference room. The air was filled with a tense atmosphere. A long conference table was filled with the college's senior executives and teachers. Our Blazing Academy has always been developing independently. We have our own unique system and advantages in training fire spirit masters. Why should we let the 7 members of the Blazing team transfer to Monster Academy? Isn't this lowering our status? We might even be led astray by them. A gray-haired teacher stood up, his face full of opposition, waving his hands in the air, and said loudly, "You can't say that. I think that Monster Academy has a strong faculty and a titled Douluo sitting in charge. It might have unexpected results to go in exchange with them, and after the students transfer to our Blazing Academy, they will still be members of our Blazing Academy. No matter from which angle you look at it, we will not suffer any loss." On the other side, a younger teacher retorted, "Our academy is an extreme school. We have always focused on exploring the ultimate potential of fire spirit masters and are most suitable for fire spirit masters to practice. Even if Monster Academy has a strong man like Poison Douluo, it may not be better than us in training fire spirit masters. It's too risky to rashly let students transfer to our academy." Another person frowned and said, "It's good to go and have a look. After all, the children will have more learning opportunities. Besides, if they feel it's not suitable, they can always come back. We can't stand still. Appropriate communication and learning may help our academy reach a higher level." At this time, Dean Hulong, who had been silent all the time, made a decision. In fact, Hulong also had his own helplessness in his heart. It was his daughter Huao who was clamoring to go to the Monster Academy. If she didn't go, she would ignore him as a father. As a daughter slave, he couldn't persuade her, so he had to agree to the transfer plan. 3 days later, Yuhuo City. "Is this the Monster Academy?" Huao, wearing red clothes, walked on the academy road, looking back and forth curiously. Chapter 133 Lin Feng, "You? Weisstein? Ho Wu, you must listen to me later, and don't lose your temper. If you continue to be willful, I will tell my father to take you back." Ho Washuang frowned, looked at Ho Wu seriously, and said in a deep voice with a bit of brother's majesty, "HMPH, what do you care? I know what I am doing." Ho Wu was so angry that her face turned red. She curled her lips in disdain, put her hands on her hips, and retorted. The two were arguing with each other. "Ho Wu, Ho Washuang, you two stop arguing. We are already in someone else's academy. Don't let others laugh at our Chihiro Academy later." Suddenly, the teacher in charge shouted and interrupted the two. "Lululu." Ho Wu then made a face at Ho Washuang and walked forward quickly. "Hey!" Ho Washuang sighed lightly and quickly followed. At this point, the team leader and the 7 members of the Blazing team, a group of 10 people, walked harmoniously towards the depths of the Monster Academy. Everyone walked along the winding path, and the surroundings were quiet and somewhat depressing, with only the sound of footsteps echoing in the air. At this moment, a strong soul power fluctuation came from not far away, attracting everyone's attention. Not far away in the training ground, a group of people were watching a boy and a girl fighting. In the center, it was Lin Jian and Lin Shui. The soul power radiating from the two of them was dazzling, and the light was like 2 rounds of scorching sun, piercing the surrounding onlookers and squinting their eyes. Lin Jian's soul power showed a deep blue, and his moves were extremely sharp. Every time the sword edge was with an unstoppable momentum, the sword wind whistled, as if it could tear the air. Lin Zhu's posture was agile, her hands danced like a butterfly, and every time she raised her hands, a silver soul power appeared. Her figure also kept changing back and forth in this light. Why are the people in their academy so amazing? Yeah, why do I feel like we have no hope in this competition? Didn't the academy send us here to exchange and learn? Seeing this, I kind of want to stay in this academy. The students of the Blazing Fire team looked at each other. Aren't all the students here under 25 years old? How can there be such a strong person? Ho Wu in the crowd couldn't help but exclaimed in a low voice, with a face full of shock. At this time, several people heard the discussion of the students of the Monster Academy who were watching in the training ground. It's a pity that Lin Shui is 24 years old and can't participate in this competition. One of them shook his head and sighed. Hearing this, Ho Wu secretly breathed a sigh of relief inside in her heart. Fortunately, if I were also 24 years old, I should be able to be so strong. So what? Lin Jian can play. If it doesn't work, there are still the young master and others. But before she could recover, another person from the Monster Academy said again. We are just here to exchange and learn, not to join their academy. Ho Wusheng heard the conversation and said in a deep voice. Ho Wu, who was standing by, did not speak, but her heart trembled slightly. Join the Monster Academy? This school seems to be more powerful and more suitable for me than the Blazing Academy. Soon, they came to a spacious and bright office. The team leader raised his hand and knocked on the door. Come in, Flanders' hearty voice came from inside. Everyone pushed the door open and filed in. In the office, Flanders was standing in front of a huge bookshelf sorting books. When he saw them come in, he immediately turned around with a warm smile on his face. Welcome all friends from Blazing Academy, Flanders said as he walked quickly to the front of everyone, shook hands cordially with the team leader, and then greeted the team members one by one. The layout of the office is very unique, with a 5-meter wide academy distribution map hanging on the wall. The huge desk is piled with books and documents, and some minerals emitting mysterious light are placed next to it. Wow, is this the Monster Academy? These precious things are placed like this in the office. The eyes of the people in Blazing Academy were attracted by these novel things, and they couldn't help but exclaim. These are the treasures accumulated by our academy over the years, which are of great help to the students' learning and growth, Flanders introduced with a smile. Then he introduced the teaching philosophy, curriculum setting and unique training methods of Monster Academy in detail. Everyone nodded repeatedly. The dean said before that he would take you to find him when you come. Why don't we go there now? After a conversation, Flanders looked at the time and said. Okay, then I'll trouble teacher F. Led by Flanders, everyone walked out of the office. Not long after, the group arrived at the foot of a volcano. The hot magma slowly flowed down from the crater, emitting rolling heat waves. This is actually an active volcano, Ho Wusheng said in surprise. No, it's just a replica. In fact, some special devices are installed below to allow the magma to flow. The real training scene is no different from an active volcano, Flanders smiled and introduced proudly. So that's it. The volcanoes built by our Blazing Academy are all extinct volcanoes. Even the magma inside needs to be regularly refueled. The person who designed it is really a genius. Is your dean practicing here? Ho Wu said one after another. Ha, no hurry, you will see the dean soon. Flanders looked at Ho Wu and said jokingly. Dean, the people from Blazing Academy are here. Then, Flanders turned and shouted loudly towards the bottom of the crater. After a while, a figure slowly rose from the crater. It was Lin Feng. He was surrounded by blazing flames, like a phoenix reborn from the ashes, with extraordinary momentum. This person actually came out of the magma. When everyone saw him, they all showed surprised expressions and couldn't help but marvel at this unique training venue. Dean Lin Feng, Flanders shouted respectfully. Behind them, Ho Wu and Ho Wusheng were so surprised when they heard the words Dean Lin Feng. The two walked through the crowd uncertainly and came to the front to confirm whether it was the Lin Feng they knew. How did you become the dean? When she saw Lin Feng's face clearly, Ho Wu widened her eyes and pointed at Lin Feng and said, Deputy, just deputy. Lin Feng smiled slightly and responded slowly. Ho Wu looked at Lin Feng and her cheeks flushed slightly. Her mind involuntarily emerged with all kinds of performances of Lin Feng in front of her before, and she couldn't help but feel a little shy. Now he has become the dean? I thought he would like me at the beginning. Such an excellent person, can I be worthy of him? Well, 5 and 8 level 7 or above, good qualifications. Lin Feng glanced at the people of the Blazing Fire team and nodded slightly in his heart. Afterwards, he ordered Flanders to arrange accommodation for everyone, and said, from now on, you will be transfer students. If you want to become a regular student, just tell the teacher. The members of the Blazing team looked at the sullen face of their teacher next to them, and they all understood the reason. When Ho Wusheng heard this, he frowned and was about to step forward to speak. We are from Blazing Academy, and we will not become regular students, Ho Wu took the lead and said firmly. She was determined that she was a member of Blazing Academy, and she always had been. Chapter 134 Xiao Wu is exposed. No matter what, I will not hurt you. Okay, I got it, Lin Feng smiled helplessly and said repeatedly. The night fell quietly. Only a few stars shone through the clouds, casting a faint and cold light. In an office of the college, the dim light flickered. Flanders sat behind the large desk, looking solemnly at Lin Jian and Lin Shui standing in front of him. This is the first batch of students to join our college. You two have to take care of them more, try to let them feel the goodness of the college as much as possible, and try to keep them all. Flanders looked at the two with expectation in his eyes, and said earnestly. Teacher, don't worry, we understand. Lin Jian nodded slightly, his expression serious. Yes, teacher, Lin Shui also echoed, with a friendly light in his eyes. At the same time, girls' dormitory area. Ho Wu gently pushed open the dormitory door with a hint of nervousness and uneasiness. Inside the room, Lin Shui had been waiting for a long time. When she saw Ho Wu coming in, she immediately smiled warmly and stood up to greet her. Hi, Ho Wu, welcome, hello. Hello. Ho Wu was a little embarrassed by this sudden enthusiasm, blushing slightly and said softly. Don't be so polite, we will be roommates from now on. Lin Shui seemed to notice Ho Wu's restraint, pulled Ho Wu to sit down by the bed, and said with a smile. Under Lin Shui's initiative to talk, after a few words, Ho Wu gradually relaxed her tense nerves. The two of them talked back and forth, and the topic gradually opened up. Lin Shui, I saw you and Lin Jian fighting today, you two are so amazing, especially you, that space soul skill is so enviable. Ho Wu's eyes were full of admiration, and she praised sincerely. In fact, this is all thanks to the young master. If it weren't for his teaching and help, it would be difficult for me to practice my soul skills to this level now. When Lin Shui heard this, a faint smile appeared on his face. Young master? Lin Feng? Why? Ho Wu asked curiously with a puzzled look on her face. Lin Shui just smiled mysteriously and did not answer. Some things, you will slowly know in the future. It's getting late, let's go to bed first. After that, she lay on the bed and pulled the quilt over. After a while, the only sound in the dormitory was her even breathing. Ho Wu lay on the bed beside her, looking at the dark ceiling, her mind full of curiosity about Lin Feng. She tossed and turned for a long time before she gradually fell asleep. On the other side, there was a courtyard of the Lin family. The moonlight was like water, quietly sprinkled on the bluestone road, covering the entire courtyard with a layer of silver gauze. Xiao Wu got up lightly, afraid of making any noise, and tiptoed out of the room. The courtyard was terribly quiet, with occasional insects chirping. Just then, a loud snoring broke the silence. Xiao Wu looked in the direction of the sound, and saw a glimmer of light coming through the window of a room. She walked over curiously and leaned over the window to look inside. Puff! Xiao Wu couldn't help laughing when she saw the scene in front of her. Inside the room, Mo Hongjin was lying on the bed with his legs spread out, sleeping soundly, with a trace of saliva hanging from the corner of his mouth, looking very funny. Xiao Wu looked at Ma Hongjin's sleeping posture and couldn't help but frown slightly, but a sour feeling rose in her heart. She thought of her identity as a soul beast. Although she got along very well with everyone here. But after all, her identity could be discovered by the Titled Douluo at any time, bringing danger to everyone. Goodbye, Lin Feng. I can't let you guys down anymore, Xiao Wu whispered silently in her heart, with tears of reluctance in her eyes. Today, she will leave here. After saying that, Xiao Wu turned around and walked towards the gate of the courtyard. Her steps became more and more hurried. And behind her, a figure quietly appeared. It was Lin Feng. In fact, Lin Feng has been secretly paying attention to Xiao Wu during this period. He knew that Xiao Wu was always worried about Dugu Bo in her heart, and he also expected that she might have the idea of leaving. But tonight, when he saw Xiao Wu was really leaving, he still felt anxious. Xiao Wu, Lin Feng called softly, and his voice was particularly clear in the quiet night. Xiao Wu stiffened when she heard the voice, and slowly turned around. Lin Feng. The moment she saw Lin Feng, a hint of surprise flashed in her eyes. What are you doing? I'm going to the toilet, Xiao Wu said nervously, but then she remembered her escape plan at the moment, and her expression became awkward. Going to the toilet? The toilet is not on the yard, Why are you going to the bushes? Are you a rabbit? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly, his eyes swept towards the bushes not far away, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Don't make fun of me, Xiao Wu subconsciously wanted to refute I am, but when the words came to her lips, she shook her head violently, and a hint of shame and anger appeared on her face. Even if it's a rabbit, what does it matter? Lin Feng walked forward, stretched out his hand and gently touched Xiao Wu's head. His movements were gentle. You are the rabbit. Xiao Wu was panicked, feeling as if her secret had been seen through by Lin Feng. She hurriedly took a step back and stammered. Really? I thought you were 100,000-year soul beast in recultivation. Lin Feng looked at Xiao Wu with deep eyes, his tone was a little teasing. How did you know? Xiao Wu's face turned pale instantly, her eyes widened in fear, and she stepped back repeatedly. Oh, so you are confessing yourself? Don't come over, I'm going to call someone. Xiao Wu, why are you so scared? Lin Feng approached Xiao Wu step by step, but there was no malice in his eyes, and he said softly. Don't come over. I am 100,000-year soul beast, very powerful, don't underestimate me. Xiao Wu bit her lower lip tightly, her body trembling slightly. A 5-year-old 100,000-year soul beast? I only saw cuteness. Lin Feng stopped and a smile flashed in his eyes. I have the power of 200,000 soul beasts in my body, don't mess around. Xiao Wu blurted out in anger and anxiety. Lin Feng secretly laughed in his heart. This Xiao Wu actually used the power given by him to threaten him, but his face remained calm. Xiao Wu is so powerful, then I have to see her well. Young master, don't tease her. Xiao Wu is almost scared to death. Just when Xiao Wu was full of fear and at a loss, Liu Erlong's figure flashed from the side. When Xiao Wu saw Liu Erlong, she was stunned for a moment, her mind was blank, and she didn't understand what was going on. Silly child, you are my daughter for one day and for a lifetime. How could your mother hurt you? So what if you are a soul beast? In my heart, you will always be my Xiao Wu. Liu Erlong walked quickly to Xiao Wu and hugged her tightly, with a bit of pampering and heartache in his voice. Chapter 135. Half a year later, Tang San awakens. Hearing this, Xiao Wu was stunned in Liu Erlong's arms, looking straight at Lin Feng. Lin Feng in front of him had a sly smile on his face. Ha, I didn't scare you, it seems someone shed tears just now. Then, Lin Feng walked quickly towards Xiao Wu and Liu Erlong's arms and said gently. You guys, so you already knew my life experience, woo. Xiao Wu, who was a little scared, cried in Liu Erlong's arms and said sobbingly. Okay, Xiao Wu is not afraid, Mom will take you back to rest. Young master, you too, why scare a child for no reason? Liu Erlong said to Lin Feng with a somewhat complaining tone. After that, Liu Erlong stood up and hugged Xiao Wu tightly in his arms, stroking her gently, and walked towards his room. Behind him, Lin Feng looked at the harmonious appearance of the two, and a warm feeling rose in his heart. A few months later, Holy Soul Village. The sun poured down on this quiet and peaceful village. A young man wearing red flower pants and a pink flower on his head. Xiao-san, are you? Yes, Grandpa, I am the one who awakened the innate full soul power, the young man said softly. Oh, what a pity, the awakened martial soul is Blue Silver Grass, the village elder Jack of the Holy Soul Village sighed. Not far away, a soul silently watched the two of them, it was Lin Feng. According to the time calculation, this time is also the time for Tang San to awaken his martial soul. Lin Feng used the soul early in the morning and came to the Holy Soul Village in an instant. Half a year has passed, and Tang San's outfit has successfully refreshed my cognition again. Looking at Tang San's eye-catching outfit, Lin Feng couldn't help but complain in his heart. Turning his eyes, Lin Feng's eyes fell on Tang San's information panel. After half a year, Tang San's entries can be refreshed again. System, entry refresh, link. Entries refreshed successfully. Lin Feng slowly checked the refreshed entries, and they were all entries that could improve Tang San's strength. Even this time, Tang San's purple talent was so outstanding that it triggered an upgrade, and like him, he refreshed a golden entry of the innate 20th level. This must not be changed. Keep it, Lin Feng murmured. Forget it, let's go see Tang Hao. Immediately, Lin Feng flashed and left in a hurry. The blacksmith's house. Lin Feng flew into the hut with great expectation. Sure enough, he is sleeping in here. Lin Feng smiled slightly and said. System, entry refresh, link. The entry refreshed successfully. Lin Feng took a quick look at Tang Hao's refreshed entry. Now his entry is already very rubbish. Dionysus, green, forging grandmaster, purple, soulbone explosion, gold. Dionysus who has no money to drink, forging grandmaster who never forges weapons, and the decadent father who hides in a small village and never hunts soul rings. Even with a golden soulbone explosion, it has no effect. Tisk 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 tisk. It's so pitiful, I don't know what to change. Lin Feng shook his head pitifully. Tang Hao, I'm your Uncle Jack. Just at this moment, the old Jack's full-bodied shout came from the door. Inside the house. Oh, Tang Hao woke up from his sleep with sleepy eyes, and murmured with a little pain in his head. Tang Hao, come out quickly. Then, the old Jack's voice with vicissitudes and a little excitement sounded again. What's wrong? A moment later. Tang Hao staggered to the front door. Tang Hao, Zio-san is a talented child. Today he awakened his innate full soul power. It's time to send him to school. Maybe he will have a great future. There are still places for work-study students in the village. I think we should give it to Zio-san this year, old Jack said to Tang Hao with enthusiasm. Yet, Tang Hao, what on earth are you doing? Can't you pay more attention to Zio-san's schooling? Old Jack saw Tang Hao like this and was immediately furious. His voice unconsciously rose and he shouted loudly. I'll take this as your agreement. Zio-san must go to school. I'll pick him up when the time comes. After saying that, old Jack turned around and strode away angrily. Tang Hao was suddenly brought back to his senses by old Jack's roar. He was a little sober. Seeing Tang San in front of him, he lowered his head and picked up a whip and walked over. This guy wants to hit me again? Don't come over here. Tang San took 2 steps back in fear. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 136, The Hand of Evil, The Battle to Defend Innocence. Come here. Tang Hao stretched out his hand, lifted up Tang San's worn-out colorful sleeves, and whipped him on the back. Hiss, it hurts. The whip hit the wound, causing Tang San to gasp and shout. Master, come out. Tang San ran all the way with tears in his eyes, and came to the waterfall on the back mountain, shouting loudly with grievance. In the past few months, he came back here whenever he had any troubles, and talked to his master alone in front of the pool. It was because his master would never respond to him every time. He remembered that as long as he awakened his martial spirit, his master would appear. As soon as he finished speaking, a column of water rose slowly in the pool again, and the figure of an old man emerged. Master, you finally came out. I called you many times before, but you didn't respond. Tang San was surprised and happy, with tears still in his eyes. Don't call me all the time, I have to conserve my energy. Lin Feng looked indifferent, with a hint of fatigue in his tone. What's wrong? Why are you so panicked? Seeing Tang San's tear-stained face, Lin Feng asked in a feigned curiosity. Tang San gritted his teeth and told him everything Tang Hao had done. I want Tang Hao dead, he roared. After listening to this, Lin Feng also called Tang Hao ruthless man in his heart. In that case, master has a way, Lin Feng pondered for a moment and said. After that, he moved his mind and teleported a herb from the main body of the Flame Valley to his own portable space. This portable space is the entry ability he obtained after refreshing his observation haki. Portable space, gold. You have a portable space, the size of which increases with your cultivation. At present, his space is as large as 100 football fields. Go to the pool. Master has teleported a spiritual medicine to the ground. It should be able to help you. Lin Feng looked at Tang San and ordered. Tang San's eyes lit up, and he hurried to the edge of the pool and jumped into the bottom of the pool. After a while, he found the spiritual medicine. After a closer look, it turned out to be the death flower. It's the death flower, great. This flower is extremely poisonous. Anyone who takes it will die. Tang San was not afraid, but was happy. He was thinking in his heart. This time, he could finally kill Tang Hao. This transmission consumed a lot of my energy. I need to sleep for a while. Lin Feng looked at Tang San and took the medicine, and spoke slowly. Thank you for your hard work, master. Now that I have awakened my martial spirit, I would like to ask you for some advice. Tang San nodded quickly and said respectfully. What martial spirit? Lin Feng nodded slightly and said casually. Tang Sam stretched out his right hand, and saw bluegrass slowly emerging. At the same time, a black hammer appeared in his left hand. At this time, Tang San regarded Lin Feng as the person he trusted the most, and showed his twin martial spirits without reservation. It's actually a twin martial spirit. The one in the right hand is the clear sky hammer, just like your father's martial spirit. This martial spirit is powerful and often gives birth to peerless Douluo. You should focus on cultivating this martial spirit first. Tang San nodded heavily. After Lin Feng finished his explanation, his figure gradually disappeared. This time, Tang Hao, I will make you pay for what you did. Tang San returned home excitedly. Looking at the familiar yet unfamiliar house, with a flash of determination in his eyes. He had failed to poison Tang Hao before, and this time with this death flower, he must plan well. It must succeed once. Flame Valley, Crater. After his soul returned, Lin Feng slowly opened his eyes. He saw that Xiao Wu was playing with Ho Yi, the soul of Wu's second martial spirit. Ho Yi, who sensed a breath of Lin Feng's eyes, hurried over and rubbed against Lin Feng. Brother Lin Feng, you're awake. Why did you practice for so long this time? And you look a little pale, Xiao Wu asked in front of Lin Feng, shaking her head. Well, I encountered some problems during this practice, but fortunately, they have all been solved, Lin Feng said calmly. Until now, Lin Feng still felt a little nauseous about Tang Hao's behavior just now. That's good, Brother Lin Feng, you said that I can go to school with Ma Hongjin tomorrow, but, Xiao Wu drooped her rabbit eyes, her eyes suddenly became a little wandering. Don't worry, Grandpa Du already knows about you, he also wants to see you all the time, don't worry, everyone will protect you, Lin Feng comforted with a gentle face. That's great, Xiao Wu laughed happily. Young master, Miss Dugu Yan told me to call you back to eat, a voice came from the crater. Let's go, Xiao Wu, go back and have dinner, tomorrow, I'll take you and Ma Hongjin to school together. Hearing this, Lin Feng continued. Well, thank you, Brother Lin Feng. Then, he jumped and followed Lin Feng's footsteps. Chapter 137 Tang Hao's Ending. The next day, Monster Academy. There were crowds of people in front of the school gate, but it was much less crowded than in previous years. Why is the admission of Monster Academy so strict? Yes, I heard about it last year. Many people came, but only a few got in. The crowd was talking about it. Many people looked at the only two people who successfully passed and showed a retreat. Many people in line at the registration office left one after another. At this time, a little girl in a pink dress with two rabbits on her head jumped towards the registration office. Lin Feng and a chubby little boy in a red tights followed behind her. Previously, Lin Feng had awakened their martial souls and innate soul power for them in the Fire Valley. Teacher Flanders, these are Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjin, two new students in our academy. Please test them. Lin Feng walked up quickly and said to Flanders. Yes, young master, Flanders responded with a bow. You two little guys, come here. Flanders stood up and said to the two people behind Lin Feng. Okay, Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjin both replied happily. Let me test your innate soul power first. Xiao Wu, you go first. Then, Flanders took out a blue crystal ball from his arms and said. Xiao Wu walked forward slowly, looked at the soul power test crystal curiously, and then gently pressed her fair little hand on it. In an instant, the crystal shone brightly, dazzling. Full innate soul power, Flanders, who was in charge of the test, exclaimed, and the crowd around him instantly exploded. Look, there's a person with full innate soul power over there. What? Full innate soul power? There are not many on this continent. Where? Where? In just a few seconds, the crowd of onlookers surrounded this place. The test passed, Flanders said excitedly. Lin Feng, I did it. Xiao Wu's mouth corners raised, and she jumped back to Lin Feng's side, her eyes full of pride. Xiao Wu, good job. Lin Feng smiled and touched her head, saying with praise. In the distance, Dugu watched this side quietly. Xiao Feng really brings surprises to me again and again. A 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast with full innate soul power. Well done, Xiao Feng. Liu Erlong, Dugu Yan, Yi Lingling, and Yu Kuang, who were standing behind Dugu, also showed shocked expressions on their faces. Xiao Wu's talent is so strong. Then, Ma Hongjin stepped forward to test, and his soul power was just as bright, but slightly inferior to Xiao Wu's just now. Ma Hongjin, innate soul power level 8, Test passed, Flanders announced with his mouth wide open in surprise again. Innate level 8, just now there was a person with full innate soul power, and now there is another person with innate level 8. This Monster Academy is too amazing. Hey, this is also a good thing. It's been a long time since so many talented people appeared in Yuhua City. Everyone was amazed again. Okay, Xiao Wu, Ma Hongjin, you guys go in first. I've arranged for Dugu Yan, Lingling and the others to take you in first to get familiar with our college. Teacher Zhao, the rest of the things are up to you. I have something to deal with later. I'll go and see the new students in the evening. Lin Feng looked at the few people and said with a smile. Yes, young master, Flanders replied. Sister Yaner, Sister Lingling, Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjin ran towards the few people at the gate. Here we are, let's go. Lin Feng has already told us that he will take you around the campus. Wait, let's go to the cafeteria first, so you can taste the cooking skills of our Monster Academy chefs. Dugu Yan pinched her waist and said to the two. The cafeteria, great, I'm just hungry right now, Ma Hongjin said, patting his bulging belly. The cafeteria, there are carrots, Xiao Wu asked curtly, dancing her two rabbits. Puchy, yes, enough. Yi Lingling, who was standing by, couldn't help laughing as she looked at the two of them. As night fell, the last twilight on the horizon gradually disappeared. At this time, although the gate of the academy was open, there were only a few people left in front of the gate. I think this is the end of this year's enrollment, Dugu Bo said to Flanders, Zhao Wuji and others with his hands behind his back. But, Dean, this year we only have 4 people who passed the test, Zhao Wuji said with some regret. Teacher Zhao, have you forgotten the enrollment purpose of our Monster Academy? It's better to have a shortage than to have unqualified people. Monster Academy only accepts monsters. Dugu Bo looked at Zhao Wuji again and said in a deep voice. Yes, Dean, Zhao Wuji immediately bowed his hands. It's better to have a shortage than to have unqualified people. Hearing this, Flanders also murmured in a low voice. Over the past year, he has seen all the changes in the academy. This is exactly the academy he wanted to build in his dream. Thinking of this, Flanders was once again grateful to Lin Feng for inviting him. The school may not be able to show its strength yet, but in the competition 3 years later, Monster Academy will definitely be famous, Flanders said firmly in his heart. Academy Training Room. Several new students have just finished Lin Shui's hypnosis test. Walking out of the test room, Lin Feng looked at the people standing in front of him and felt a little disappointed. Hey, how come there are no good entries in the past 6 months? Even Dugu Yan and the others are refreshed. At this time, Lin Feng suddenly thought of Tang San and thought to himself. I don't know what happened to Tang San, it's been a day. Could he be exposed and locked up by Tang Hao to be severely disciplined? No, I have to go and take a look. Lin Jian, Lin Shui, take everyone back to the dormitory to rest first, Lin Feng said to the 2 people standing beside him. After several people completely left the training room. Instantaneous, the soul flew directly from Lin Feng's head and arrived at the blacksmith shop of Holy Soul Village in the blink of an eye. Tang San was standing in the room, with complex emotions in his eyes. On the ground, Tang Hao's body lay. Tang Hao, you are finally dead. Tang San looked up to the sky and howled, venting his dissatisfaction. Oh my god, it's only been a day since we last met. Did Tang San act so quickly? Seeing this, Lin Feng's expression froze instantly, full of shock. No, how did he kill him? In front of him, Tang San dragged Tang Hao's body to the yard and buried it on the spot. And in order not to attract attention, he also camouflaged the burial place. When everything was over, Tang San walked out of the house again. Seeing this, Lin Feng hurriedly followed him. Tang San ran all the way to the pond where Lin Feng was, and kowtowed respectfully. Master, it's all your fault that you fell asleep again. My disciple is going to school soon, and one day in the future. I will definitely revive you, he whispered with tears in his eyes. Lin Feng listened to it, and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This kid is quite thoughtful. The master couldn't bear to see it. In order to prevent himself from being soft-hearted, the master took a step back and slipped away. Seeing this, Lin Feng turned around quietly and left. Chapter 138 3 years later, 9 golds and 1 red. 3 months later. Tang San followed old Jack to not in college. You have a useless blue-silver grass spirit, but you have full innate spirit power? Do you think I'm stupid? Go away. In front of the school gate, the guard looked him up and down, with a face full of disdain. deliberately making things difficult. Are you a new student? Tang San frowned, and just as he was about to get angry, a voice came from behind. Tang San turned around and saw a thin-faced man with extraordinary temperament coming. It was the master. Good morning, master. The guard's attitude immediately changed when he saw the master, and his face was full of smiles. You are a teacher in the college, right? This is our part-time student Xiao Sam from the Holy Soul Village this year, old Jack asked in a hoarse voice. Oh, part-time student, do you have a certificate from the Spirit Hall? The master asked immediately. Old Jack handed the certificate that was just considered forged to the master with both hands. The master took it and just took a simple look, and then confirmed the authenticity of the certificate. This certificate is clearly true. Why are you making things difficult for an old man? The master asked the guard with a dark face. The guard looked down at his feet and dared not speak. If you do that again, you won't have to stay here, the master continued to scold. Old man, please leave the child to me, I'll take him to enroll. The master turned to old Jack and said politely. Oh, that's great, thank you, teacher. Old Jack looked at the master happily and said. Xiao-san, you must study hard in school, your father is really something, I haven't seen him recently, and you didn't see him when school started today, maybe he's hiding in that place again. Old Jack then looked at Tang San and said. Okay, Grandpa. Tang San didn't change his face when he heard his grandfather mention Tang Hao, and responded in a clear voice. After old Jack left, the master took Tang San into the academy. Child, you have twin martial spirits, right? He suddenly stopped and asked in a deep voice. Tang San's heart tightened and he became alert instantly. You must be very curious about how I figured it out, the master said as he took out the certificate that old Jack handed to him. I saw on your recommendation certificate that you have full innate spirit power and a spirit of blue silver grass. Perhaps others can see something wrong, but if it's me, according to the theory I studied, there is no one with a blue silver grass spirit whose spirit power can exceed level 1. According to one of the 10 core competitiveness of spirits that I studied, innate spirit power is proportional to the quality of spirits, except for the possibility that you have a mutated spirit. Blue silver grass obviously cannot satisfy that, then there is only one possibility left. That you have a twin spirit. Hearing this, Tang San was shocked and clenched his right hand subconsciously. This person could actually see the clues of his twin spirits, and he was about to die. Twin spirits are extremely rare. Although your blue silver grass spirit may seem weak, if it is supplemented with the right training method and spirit ring configuration, its potential is limitless. The master did not notice Tang San's killing intent and continued to analyze it proudly. Xiao-san, are you willing to be my apprentice? I will teach you everything I have learned in my life. After saying that, the master suddenly looked at Tang San with a sharp gaze. Liu Erlong's visit before had left a deep impression on the master. Now that he was actually despised by Erlong who loved him in the past, he was bound to make a name for himself in his own research. Let the people on the mainland look at him with new eyes, and let Liu Erlong regret his original determination. Tang San was surprised at the master's erudition, but at the same time he also thought to himself. This person already knows my secret, and there is no guarantee that he will not tell it. But I really need someone to teach me now, so it is better to learn from him first, and it will not be too late to kill him after I have learned the knowledge. I will not worship you as my master, but I can learn from you. Thinking of this, Tang San raised his head and said coldly. The master frowned slightly, looking at Tang San, thinking in his heart. This kid has a stubborn temper. But sooner or later, I will be able to conquer him. Okay, then you can learn from me. So, the master nodded in agreement. Lin Feng, Liu Erlong, you have always looked down on me. Now that I have accepted Tang San as my apprentice, I will definitely train him to become a titled Douluo, so that you will look at me with new eyes. Time flies, and 3 years have passed. Sitting in the dean's office, Lin Feng's information panel appeared in front of him, and there was a hint of excitement between his eyebrows. A few days ago, he was wandering in the sky. Finally, he found the 11-year-old Oscar in a remote Soul Master Academy on the mainland and copied his golden entry destiny member. Lin Feng didn't understand. Why can a food-type Soul Master with full innate soul power waste so many years in a remote town? No one has come to recruit him. Is he just waiting for the protagonist group to subdue him? Anyway, it's all Lin Feng's now. He looked at the panel. On the panel, there is only one non-gold entry left, wandering in the sky. Before, the system added an entry after obtaining the 6th soul ring. He also replaced the previously copied golden entry and refreshed it with the flame fruit. Flame fruit, gold. You gain the ability of the natural flame fruit in the pirate world, which can transform your body into fire elements and control flames. Although the flame fruit is not eaten by dogs, it was even turned into slag in seconds by its superior fruit, the magma fruit. However, he has the blue lotus earth core fire, which is a different fire element, and its lethality is not comparable to ordinary flames. Not to mention magma, even the peerless Douluo dares to touch it. As for the previous purple gorgeous special effects, he replaced them with golden mirror flower and water moon. Mirror flower and water moon, gold. You gain the ability of the mirror flower and water moon Zanpakuto in Bleach, complete hypnosis, which can control the opponent's 5 senses. A trace of decisiveness flashed in Lin Feng's eyes, and he replaced the last purple entry without hesitation. System, replace the entry. Ding, the Golden Destiny member replaces the Wandering Heaven. In an instant, the entire entry seat was shining brightly, and all the members had golden entries, dazzling, plus a red entry, shining brightly. System, refresh the members of Destiny. Ling. The entry has been refreshed successfully. Please choose one of the 3 entries below. Snow fruit, gold. You gain the ability of the natural snow fruit in the pirate world, which can transform your body into snow elements and control snowflakes. Teleport, gold. You can move to any place you have been to in your memory, which requires a small amount of soul power. Time stop, gold. You can pause the time around you. The wider the range and the stronger the enemy, the shorter the duration. The minimum time stop is 1 second. Snow fruit? I already have the flame fruit, so it's useless to have this. Teleport is good, which just makes up for the defect that I have brushed off by wandering around. I can go around and it's more convenient. Not only is it convenient, but when I encounter danger, I can also teleport away directly. It's a life-saving skill. He can teleport from the Spirit Hall to the Flame Valley, and from the Flame Valley to the Starred Out Great Forest. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Handsome boy, I like you very much. Seeing the last time stop, Lin Feng smiled speechlessly. Isn't this the system version of the bipolar static field? What can I do if I just pause for a while? Forget it, it's not a loss if I have teleportation anyway, so I'll just change this. Then, Lin Feng murmured in a low voice. Ling. Replacement successful. As the system voice fell, Lin Feng turned his attention to other entries and refreshed them. He was already very satisfied with 1 teleportation today, and it didn't matter whether the others could be refreshed to be good. It was just a matter of luck and refreshing casually. But I didn't expect it. Ling. Entries refreshed. 3 entries with red light blinded Lin Feng's eyes. Ling. Congratulations to the host for triggering the upgrade of the golden entry copy. Entry. Please choose or save from the following 3 entries. Chapter 139 Item Change, red. Monster Team Members Gathering. Change item, red. You can change other people's items at will. 1 person can only change purple items or below once. 2 level reversal, red. Everything about you changes. Good things turn into bad things turn into good things. Desperate artifact, turn the situation around, reload and restart, red. You will return to the day you obtained the system and live a new life. Wow, red items are out, Lin Feng said excitedly, his eyes full of red items. This is the first time he has refreshed a red item. The previous Destiny Child was also copied from Tang San. Soon, Lin Feng calmed down and looked at the 3 red items after the upgrade. The first thing that caught his eye was the item change. Item change? Lin Feng looked at the item introduction at the back and was surprised and happy. Changing other people's items, this is the item that he has been thinking about for a long time. It's a pity that you can only change other people's purple and below items. But it's not bad. On the mainland, except for the protagonists and some people with outstanding talents, there are only a few people with purple or above entries. Let's take a look at the following entries first, Lin Feng thought with interest and whispered in a low voice. Everything has taken a turn, good things have turned into bad things have turned into good things. It is also a must for people in desperate situations. Although this entry is very tempting, the academy he founded is now thriving in full swing. The situation of the protagonists and major forces is under his control. He is like a fish in water, okay? Compared with the initial entry copy, this 2-level reversal is still a little bit less interesting. Then, Lin Feng looked at the last entry reload and restart. Okay? the time and space shuttle of the present version. But if he goes back to the day when the system appears with a memory of this life, although he will live better in the next life, it is too troublesome. Lin Feng thought secretly in his heart. In this case, then choose to copy the entry. Lin Feng no longer hesitated and said to the system, Ling. The entry has been changed successfully. Now Lin Feng's panel entry has come to, name, Lin Feng, gender, male, age, 16 years old, innate soul power, innate level 20, martial soul, fire dragon king, god level, flame sky dragon, top level, soul power, level 65, entries, mirror flower water moon, gold, instant teleport, gold, blue lotus earth core fire, gold, burning fruit, gold, permanent hidden entries, twin martial soul, gold, fire dragon king, gold, innate level 20, gold, portable space, gold, entries change, red, child of destiny, red, 8 gold and 2 red. As the system voice fell, Lin Feng looked at the current panel with satisfaction and nodded. In addition to the very gorgeous entries, now that I am 16 years old, my soul power has reached level 65. This innate level 20 training is fast. I really don't know how Jin Ringsu practiced to reach Soul Saint at the age of 29. Just when Lin Feng was still sighing inwardly, there was a knock on the door. Dean, a rough voice came. Come in. Lin Feng sat down and answered in a deep voice. Dean. At this time, Zhao Wuji pushed open the door and walked in quickly. Teacher Zhao, is there anything? Lin Feng looked up and asked in confusion. Dean. The members of the monster team going to the elite competition this time are ready and can leave at any time. Okay, you go first, I'll be there later, Lin Feng responded simply. Yes, Dean. After Zhao Wuji answered with a bow, he showed a confident smile on his face and turned to leave. Now under the leadership of Dean Lin Feng and Dean Dugu, the strength of the team members has made great progress. The soul power of several teachers teaching in the academy has also improved significantly, and even I have broken through level 81. This was something I dared not think of when I was in Shrek before. A few quarters of an hour later, in the Monster Academy Square, there are 7 members of the monster team and 5 leading teachers. Flanders, Liu Long, Zhao Wuji, Lin Long, and Lin Shui, who chose to stay in school as a teacher after graduation. Dugu Yan, Yi Lingling, Yu Kuang, Xiao Wu, Mo Hongjin and others stood in a neat row, looking forward to it, and had been waiting in the square for a long time. Ahem, just then, a familiar voice sounded. Everyone looked at the 2 figures coming from a distance with expectation. Dugubo followed behind Lin Feng, and the 2 of them quickened their pace and walked towards them. In the distance, Lin Feng looked at the figures that everyone was looking forward to, and a smile appeared unconsciously at the corner of his mouth. When Lin Feng and Dugubo walked to the front of the team and stood still, Lin Feng put his hands behind his back and looked at the team members. Among the team members, Lin Jian, 25 years old, has reached level 55. As the captain of this team, Lin Jian has an upright posture, like a sword out of its sheath, exuding a chilling breath. Lin Zhu, 25 years old, with a level 49 soul power, stood beside Lin Jian. Although her soul power is slightly weaker than Lin Jian's, she is a spiritual soul master with heterochromia, and her hypnotic ability can hypnotize soul kings. Su Liang, the son of the former Yuhuo Chamber of Commerce, is 23 years old and has a soul power of level 43. Previously, because of his innate soul power, he was recruited into the academy by Herbert. Now Su Liang has become a member of the team with the help of his own refreshed entries. 3.5 years ago, he refreshed a unique purple entry nightmare on this kid. Nightmare, purple. Once you fall asleep, you will release the nightmare in your heart and launch a crazy and indiscriminate attack. However, after falling asleep, he will be hypnotized by Lin Zhu's ability, and become a tool that Lin Zhu can control at will. The 2 people behind the 3 are Bingyu and Bingsu. They are twins, 19 years old, and their martial souls are both snowflakes. The purple entry refreshed by Lin Feng for them, God level fusion, is amazing. After the martial soul fusion, their martial souls can temporarily change into God level martial souls. Although they were only 2 level 41 soul masters, the martial soul fusion skill Ice God Sai they used was extremely powerful, enough to defeat some weaker soul emperors. The other 2 top soul masters, Zhang Feng and Mu Qing, were selected from ordinary students. They were level 43 and 45 respectively. Although their strength was not top-notch, They were both healing soul masters, which made up for the team's shortcomings. However, for such a strong team, it didn't matter whether they had a healing system or not. If Lin Jian or Lin Zhu came on stage alone, they could kill the whole team in seconds. Lin Feng knew the importance of loyalty system. Copy Zhao Wuji's loyalty entry and replace it with Bingao, Bingsu, Lin Jian, Ling. Replacement successful. He replaced the loyalty entry for Bingao and Bingsu. The twins already admired him, and it was difficult for others to notice the difference after the replacement. Similarly, Liu Erlong, Flanders, Lin Jian, Lin Zhu, Lin Long and others also had their loyalty entries replaced by him. As for Su Liang and Du Gubo, he did not replace them. First, Su Liang, the son of the former Yuhuo Chamber of Commerce, was not sure whether he was loyal to his family or the academy. Second, if he was replaced rashly, if his personality changed significantly, he might be discovered by others. The same was true for Du Gubo. Chapter 140, Ho Wu returns, everyone upgrades. Is Monster Academy so powerful? I think everyone is ready. We are representing Monster Academy in Xiandao City this time. We want to let everyone know that our strength should not be underestimated. Let's go. Lin Feng stepped forward, his eyes swept over each team member again, and said loudly. Yes, everyone shouted in unison, and the sound reverberated in the square. Then everyone walked out of the school gate in a mighty manner and headed towards Xiandao City. Monster Academy, come on, Monster Academy, you are the face of our Yuhuo City. The champion is back. As soon as they went out, the Lin family and the people living in the city lined up and shouted. At the same time, other academies were also preparing to go to Xiandao City. Xiangjia Academy was not surprised to hear that Monster Academy was going to participate in the competition, and was full of vigilance. This Monster Academy suddenly appeared, and we have one less chance. Everyone must be very alert this time, and must not take it lightly. A teacher frowned and said to the students beside him worriedly. Kamikaze Academy. One of the 5 places will be from the Divine Wind Academy. That Monster Academy is just a fledgling. Why should we be afraid? Feng, the captain of the Divine Wind Academy team, said loudly with his head held high. Inside the Blazing Fire Academy, Ho Wu, Ho Wushilong and others had just returned, and they saw their father Ho Long and a group of teachers waiting for them with a smile. Grandpa, ha, my dear daughter, you are finally back, and you have grown into a big girl, and everyone, you have changed a lot. Ho Long smiled and walked forward, his eyes full of relief. Dean, teachers, my current soul power is level 44, Xiao Ho said excitedly before he asked. 22 years old, level 44 soul master, not bad. Liu Ho, what level are you now? Ho Long nodded in satisfaction and praised, and then turned to ask the deputy captain Liu Ho. Dean, I am now level 43, Liu Ho said calmly. Then, the other 5 team members showed their levels in turn. Dean, I'm level 41, I'm level 38. What, 3 soul masters, 4 soul lords, did I hear that right? God bless us, our Blazing Academy has become prosperous. Yes, when has our Blazing Academy ever had such a luxurious team? 3 and 8 level 7s are all soul masters, and even the innate level 6 is level 38, my goodness. Is this the Monster Academy? So amazing. After hearing this, several teachers were surprised at first, and then their faces burst into joy. Not bad, at this rate, our Blazing Academy will be famous in the competition, and maybe there's even a hope of winning the championship. Hearing this, Ho Long couldn't help but say excitedly. However, the members of the Blazing team listened to them with embarrassment. Dad, our strength is not even comparable to the Monster Academy. Ho Wu shook her head, walked forward, and said helplessly. What do you mean you can't rank? Ho Wu, do you know how strong this is? Such a strong team has never appeared in other 4-element academies. Everyone was surprised when they heard it. Teachers, you know that we have improved so much just by going to Monster Academy for exchanges. You can imagine that the team members of their academy will be better than us. Soul Master is already the lowest Soul Master in their team, especially the one named Lin Jian, who is now a Soul King, and Lin Zhu. Ho Wu then described several team members of Monster Academy in detail, which stunned everyone. Yes, Father, we still have to work hard. On the side, Ho Wushilong, who had been silent for a long time, also echoed. In Monster Academy, he really saw what there are people beyond people, and there are heavens beyond heavens meant. Just do your best. At least in the Five Elements Academy, we still have a great advantage and firmly occupy the first place." Ho Long was silent for a moment, and then comforted everyone. After hearing this, the team members nodded and smiled again. At the same time, Ho Long was secretly glad to see this. If it weren't for his daughter's insistence on going to Monster Academy, he wouldn't have recognized the gap between them. Now that the team members have returned from the Monster Academy, their strength has improved qualitatively. It seems that the candidates for the next exchange should be prepared early. Half a day later, on the north side of Xiandao City, outside the preliminary competition venue of the qualifiers. Finally here, Dugu Yan stretched, leaned out of the window of the carriage, and said as he looked at the bustling figures in the distance. Yes, this time the qualifiers of Xiandao City were held on the north side of the city, and in previous years they were held on the south side. It is said that because the finals will be held in Xiandao City this year, the south side is being upgraded, Liu Erlong said to Dugu Yan. "Let's go, get off the car first," Lin Feng followed, saying slowly. "Okay." Xiao Wu was the first to prick up her ears and jump off the carriage. Soon, the group and the team members gathered in front of the competition venue. "Teacher Fu, you and the other teachers will take our team members to the hotel near our Lin family to rest later. The first qualifying match will be tomorrow, so we must rest well today. Yaner and I, let's go around." Lin Feng took the lead in ordering. "Yes, Dean," Flanders bowed and replied. Since the loyalty terms were changed, he has been more respectful and sensible. But no one noticed this. "Oh, since the last time we went out to play together, we haven't gathered together like this for a long time." After the few people left, Dugu Yan finally sighed as if relieved. "Yes, Sister Yaner, I have never been to Xiandao City much," Xiao Wu continued. "Then why don't we go shopping? There are many Lin family businesses here." Lin Feng, "I wonder if you will give us a discount if you mention your title as the young master." Dugu Yan suddenly looked at Lin Feng flatteringly, moved closer, and said, Ahem, Yaner, you've said that, you know it, right, just put it on second uncle's account. We should save money and spend money as we should." "Okay, I've been waiting for you to say that." Dugu Yan's face changed instantly, and she happily took the young master's jade token from Lin Feng. "Xiao Wu, Ling Ling, Aunt Erlong, let's go." "I won't go, I'd better stay with the young master," Liu Erlong responded lightly. She just wanted to stay with Lin Feng and protect the young master. "Okay then, hey, what about me, what about me?" Ma Hongjin said anxiously behind him. "You, just stay with the young master, don't mind girls' business," Xiao Wu pouted. "Okay," Ma Hongjin, who was rejected, lowered his head and said in a deep voice. After the few people left, Yu Kuang consciously followed them secretly. This time, one of his tasks was to protect the safety of the few of them. In the past 4 years, with the help of the young master, his soul power has reached level 55. His combat power may not be as good as Lin Jian's, but he has the ability to ride the wind, so even Lin Jian has to admit defeat in terms of agility. Chapter 141 Monster Academy, 1 person versus 7 persons. Liu Erlong, Ma Hongjin and Lin Feng were left, and the three of them went into the newly built Daohun Stadium and walked around. The entire stadium was spiral-shaped, with a total of 3 floors, and could accommodate about 50,000 to 60,000 people. After they had a general understanding of the venue for tomorrow's competition, they planned to return to the hotel in advance to discuss with the team members. Just as the 3 of them were leaving the stadium, they ran into a familiar figure. Erlong, a middle-aged sloppy-bearded uncle, followed by a fair-skinned boy. The uncle looked at Liu Erlong and said excitedly, "Uzia Gang, why are you here?" Liu Erlong said in surprise. "Oh? Young Master Lin is here too." The master, who noticed Lin Feng next to Liu Erlong, hurriedly greeted him. "Isn't this Soul Master competition about to be held? I brought my disciples here to learn." Tang San, 9 years old this year, innate full soul power. Soul power has reached level 21. Uzia Gang looked at the disciple next to him with a proud face and introduced. "Oh." Liu Erlong ignored Uzia Gang and responded lightly. "What's there to brag about at the age of 9 and level 21? Not to mention the young master and the others in our Monster Academy, all the new students are crushing this Tang San. Erlong, I plan to build a team with Tang San as the captain in the future to participate in the next elite competition. I have a hunch that the champion of the next elite competition will definitely be the team led by me," Uzia Gang continued to fantasize. "Oh. Then congratulations in advance, young master," Let's go, Liu Erlong still responded perfunctorily. Okay, let's go, congratulations in advance, Master, Lin Feng also responded jokingly. The master saw the indifferent expressions on the two people's faces, and instantly froze in place, with an unknown anger rising. Just wait, there will be a day when you will watch me prove myself. On that day, I don't see who will look down on me. After Lin Feng and the other two left, Yu Zhigang looked at their backs as they left, clenched his fists, and thought viciously in his heart. Teacher, are you still going in? Tang San beside him continued to ask indifferently. No, let's go back to where we live first, the master said angrily. The next day, the capital of the Xiandao Empire, Xiandao City. The opening ceremony of the Xiandao Empire Division of the All-Continent High-Level Elite Soul Master Competition was held grandly in the newly built Great Soul Fighting Arena on the north side of Xiandao City. In the morning, the scorching sun fell on the Great Soul Fighting Arena. Tens of thousands of spectators had already filled the venue. Sister Yaner, there are so many people here, Xiao Wu, who was lying in the VIP lounge, looked at the stands. It was also the first time she saw such a grand scene, and she couldn't help shouting. Didn't you see it at the hotel yesterday? All the hotels are full. If it weren't for second uncle reserving a few rooms for us, we probably wouldn't have found it easy to find a place to stay. Dugu Yan looked at Xiao Wu and explained. Lin Feng, who was sitting next to him, picked up the teacup, took a sip of tea, stood up and looked down at the window on the second floor. Let me warmly welcome the guests we invited to this opening ceremony, the leader of the 7 treasure glazed tile sect, Lin Feng, the Platinum Bishop Surus of the Wuhan Hall branch of Xiandao City, the host on the field was introducing enthusiastically. Good, the audience in the venue instantly rang out deafening shouts and applause. Lin Feng looked at the VIP platform in the direction of the host's finger. Not only were there Prince Zuxing and Lin Feng, but also several members of the Xiandao Royal Academy during the Yanjing War. They were all sitting in the second row. A person sitting in the middle of the first row of the VIP seats stood up and waved his hand to greet the people below. He was wearing a golden robe, a diamond crown on his head, and a simple face. He looked only a little older than Prince Zuxing. Although there were some similarities between his eyebrows, the whole person's demeanor was definitely not comparable to Prince Zuxing. There is no need to think that this is the great Emperor Zui. Lin Feng thought secretly. Sitting on the side were Ning Fengzi and Prince Zuxing. Lin Feng was very familiar with Ning Fengzi. Today, he was wearing a white robe and a 7-treasure purple gold crown on his head, which symbolized his status. As the leader of the 3 upper sects and the teacher of the Crown Prince, he was qualified to sit in this position. As for the person standing next to the 3 of them, from the 5-pointed white gold crown on his head, it can be seen that he is the Platinum Bishop of the Wuhan Hall. In Xiandao City, the person who can be qualified for the position of Platinum Bishop is undoubtedly the master of the Wuhan branch hall of Xiandao City, and his identity is naturally self-evident. At this time, Ning Fengzi seemed to notice the eyes on him from the second floor. Ning Fengzi slowly raised his head and looked in the direction of Lin Feng. His eyes met Lin Feng's. He smiled at Lin Feng and nodded gently. On the other side, in the lounge of the Blazing Fire Academy team. Xiao Ho, our goal this time is to completely defeat the other elemental academies. Do you understand? Hu Long said sharply with a gleam in his eyes. He had long been fed up with the old guy from the Divine Wind Academy who had shown off in front of him several times. Yes, Dean, Xiao Ho and his team members responded passionately. At this time, inside the stadium, the opening ceremony was coming to an end. The host flew around the stadium with a colorful tail flame behind him. Now I declare the opening ceremony over. The Continental Elite Spirit Master Competition is now officially starting. Now, please welcome the 2 teams in the first group today, the Divine Wind Academy team and the Monster Academy team. Suddenly, he paused and shouted loudly with his voice raised by several degrees. Divine Wind, Monster, Monster. Hearing this, the stadium erupted with deafening shouts again. Go, give them a blast. At this time, Lin Feng nodded to Lin Zhu of the team behind him, and said with a sly look on his face. For this competition, not only Lin Feng but also the team members came with a tourist mentality. The purpose was just to make Monster Academy famous on the mainland from now on. Yes, young master, Lin Zhu received the instruction, bowed and responded, then turned and walked towards the competition stage. Although the academy submitted a full 7-member team list to the organizer, only Lin Zhu appeared on the roster for the first game. On the competition stage, several people from the Kamikaze Academy have already arrived. The configuration of 2 Soul Masters and 5 Soul Lords once again caused a roar in the venue. On the other hand, at the entrance of the Monster Academy, Lin Zhu, wearing the Academy-style uniform designed by Lin Feng himself, a blue pleated skirt on the upper body, and a set of black stockings at the feet, slowly walked towards the competition stage. No, what's wrong with their Monster Academy? Only one person came out. Yes, isn't the preliminaries a team competition? The audience in the venue immediately talked and wondered. The next player to appear is Lin Zhu from the Monster Academy team. Due to the request of Monster Academy will only send Lin Zhu to participate in the first team match of the qualifying round. It's a little unclear what Monster Academy is trying to do. Is it making arrangements in advance to accumulate strength for later, or do they think Lin Zhu can fight 7 alone? Let's wait and see. Now I declare the game to start. High in the sky, the host skillfully announced the situation on the field. Chapter 142, Mind Control, Killing Everyone in Seconds. Zuzing, is this the Monster Academy you mentioned to me? This is ridiculous. One stood fighting against a team from the Kamikaze Academy. Is this their attitude to participate in the competition? On the VIP stage, Emperor Zuyi also had a cold face, staring at the competition stage, and asked Zuzing beside him in a deep voice. Even if it was the academy established by Poison Douluo, it was too much of a joke. Brother, I think this girl named Lin Zhu can bring you some surprises, Prince Zuzing explained to Emperor Zuyi with a smile on his face. Oh, hearing this, Emperor Zuyi and Cirrus also looked at the competition stage. Your name is Lin Zhu? Is there no one in your Monster Academy? You actually sent you alone to fight against our entire team. I advise you to call out the rest of your team members, otherwise I think we won unfairly. Feng Ming, the captain of the Kamikaze team, said sarcastically. Ha, Captain, why waste your words with her? Beat her up and we can go down and rest, a team member beside him echoed. Feng Ming, the dean told me in advance that we should be careful when we encounter the Monster Academy. I think, Deputy Captain Feng Shui remembered the dean's instructions and reminded him in a low voice. Then I want to see how capable you are. I'm telling you here, I can beat you alone. Lin Zhu looked at the trash talkers with a playful look on her face, and said with a playful smile. Tisk, if you're a whole team, maybe I would be afraid, but you have the courage to say such things alone. I think you are looking for death. Brothers, open your martial spirit, Feng Ming shouted with an angry expression. At the same time, the excellent soul ring configuration of yellow, purple, and purple rose under his feet. Martial spirit possession, swift wind wolf. In an instant, Feng Ming's body was covered with blue hair, his eyes emitted a cold white light, and his whole body swelled a little. The spirit is possessed by the wind bird. The spirit is possessed by the incarnation of the wind. Several team members around him also echoed. Puff, the spirit is possessed by the fire snake. On the opposite side, Lin Zhu laughed out loud when she saw this, and slowly walked towards the center of the ring. Lin Zhu was surrounded by a light pink flame. The flame was not strong, but it gave people a breathtaking feeling everywhere. With every step, a soul ring rose under her feet, yellow, purple, and black. The lounge of the Monster Academy on the second floor. Sister Lin Zhu, beat them hard for me. Ma Hongjian's high-pitched cheering voice almost penetrated the glass and reached the competition stage. Lin Feng sat aside and smiled and sipped his tea. Why are you shouting so loudly? It's so noisy. Seeing this, Dugu Yan stuffed a hot dog into Ma Hongjian's mouth. Ho ha. On the side, the other members of the Monster Academy team were discussing where to celebrate after the game, and they laughed out loud when they saw this scene. The whole lounge was peaceful. 10,000-year soul ring. This Lin Zhu actually has a 10,000-year soul ring. At this time, Ning Fengzi was shocked in the stands. 10,000-year soul ring? The fourth soul ring of Lin Zhu from Monster Academy is actually a 10,000-year soul ring. It seems that Lin Zhu can laugh out loud when facing 7 people from the Divine Wind Academy alone. He is absolutely confident in his own strength. On the high platform, the host also shouted in surprise. Not only the audience in the stands, but even Feng Ming, who was shouting at the beginning, was surprised at this moment. Brothers, go straight up. So what if it's a 10,000-year soul ring? There are 7 of us. The 6 people who received the order all flew into the air. Second soul skill, Swift Wind Slash. Deputy Captain Feng Shui took the lead in launching the attack. First soul skill, Wind Walk. A team member suddenly had the wind under his feet and rushed quickly towards Lin Zhu. HMPH, watch out. Fourth soul skill, Group Charm. Lin Zhu's fourth soul ring lit up, and his eyes opened instantly. A pink mist instantly surrounded the entire arena. The white wind blades from the swift wind slash dissipated quietly when they touched the mist. On the stands, the audience only saw the figures of the 7 members of the Kamikaze Academy, who were originally moving quickly, stop almost in an instant. Several people fell to the ground, their bodies swaying, their faces dull, as if they were hypnotized. What happened? The 7 members of the Kamikaze Academy actually stopped attacking at the same time. The host was also very confused about the stage at this time. My fourth soul skill, the Group Charm, can control the enemy. Anyone in this mist will be hypnotized and controlled by me. Members of the Kamikaze Academy, you each beat the other out of the ring. Lin Zhu's voice came clearly in the pink mist. And the people of the Kamikaze Academy who received the order were all controlled as Lin Zhu said. Swift Wind Slash, Wind Walk, Wind Fist. The Kamikaze team members launched several attacks at their companions at the same time. Bang, 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 a series of collisions between bodies and soul skills. The 7 members of the team all flew out of the ring. The whole audience was silent, staring at the competition stage with their mouths wide open in surprise. On the stage, the pink mist gradually disappeared. Lin Zhu, with innocent and lovely eyes, blinked and looked at the stunned host in the sky. Host, can you announce that I won? Lin Zhu asked softly. Wow, this is really a thrilling game. Lin Zhu alone actually accomplished a feat of fighting 7 people alone. This is the first time in the history of our elite competition. I declare that the first match of the Xiandao division in the preliminary round of the All-Continent High-Level Elite Soul Master competition is won by Monster Academy. The host, who came to his senses, immediately announced loudly. Lin Zhu, Monster Academy, Monster Academy. At this time, the originally silent venue suddenly rang with the cheers of thousands of people. The Kamikaze team lounge on the second floor. Who is this Lin Zhu? How can he release a spiritual power control soul skill comparable to the Soul Emperor level? The Dean of Kamikaze Academy angrily asked the elders beside him. Dean, we still don't have any information about the strength of the students in the Monster Academy, so that's why our team members underestimated the enemy, an elder stuttered. Underestimate the enemy? I think you should stop making excuses for them. Humph, this game is a foregone conclusion. With only Lin Zhu in their Monster Academy, I dare say that none of the teams participating this year can beat them. In the Blazing Academy team lounge. Ha, so relieved. I really don't know how angry this old man Kamikaze will be at this moment. At first, I couldn't believe what you said a few days ago. After seeing it today, this Monster Academy is really amazing. I just don't know if there are any stronger than Lin Zhu among them. Ho Long smiled and said to Ho Wu, Ho Washuang and the team members beside him. At the VIP desk. Zuzing, please put all the information about the Monster Academy in my office today. I want to see it myself, Emperor Zhu ordered without question. Yes, brother. Prince Zuzing turned sideways and responded with a cupped hand. Go and find out more information about this Monster Academy, quickly. Behind him, Bishop Platinum whispered to a servant beside him. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 143 Genius Qin Ming joins Monster Academy. At this time, in a remote seat in the audience area, Yu Zhiagang frowned as he looked at Lin Zhu, the only person left on the competition stage. The host's announcement of the Monster Academy was still echoing in his mind. How could this Monster Academy's Lin Zhu have such a strong mental power when she was a soul sect? This doesn't conform to my concept of martial soul research, Yu Zhiagang said thoughtfully. Tang San on the side did not speak, and his focus was not on Lin Zhu's mental power at all. He was silently alert and thinking in his heart. Just now, he sensed a strange power from the eyes of this person named Lin Zhu. It was very similar to the purple extreme demon pupil he practiced. In front of the other person's eyes, his purple extreme demon pupil might not be able to take advantage. Be careful with this person in the future. The Monster Academy team lounge on the second floor. Lin Zhu had just returned from the competition stage. Sister Lin Zhu, you were so handsome just now. When your hypnotic mist was turned on, you controlled the 7 members of their kamikaze team at the same time on the field. Ma Hongjin waved his fist and imitated Lin Zu's appearance to congratulate. Ha ha ha, what do you know, little brat? This is called mental control. Dugu Yan, who was standing by, punched Ma Hongjin on the head and corrected him. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the lounge laughed at the funny look of Ma Hongjin, who was beaten. Even Lin Feng, who was sitting aside and listening to their conversation, smiled at everyone. Knock, knock. Suddenly, the door of the team lounge was knocked. Who is it? Flanders asked in a deep voice as he walked towards the door. Who would come to us at this time? Flanders muttered in confusion. With a creak, the door was opened. Teacher, a young man in a green robe, saw Flanders and looked a little surprised. His voice instantly rose a little and he greeted him with a bow. Qin Ming, why are you here? Flanders was also very confused. Hearing Flanders' words, Zhao Wuji's attention was immediately attracted. Qin Ming, Zhao Wuji walked up quickly and asked in surprise. Teacher Zhao is here too? That's right, I'm now the team instructor at Xiandao Academy. I just heard that Monster Academy won, so I came to congratulate them, Qin Ming explained quickly. I see, come in then. Qin Ming closed the door and walked into the room, looking at the graceful Liu Erlong and the calm Dugu Bo inside. Senior Dugu, Senior Liu. Upon hearing this, Dugu Bo and Liu Erlong nodded slightly in response. Lin Feng, oh, no, you should call me Dean Lin now. Qin Ming then politely greeted Lin Feng, who was standing aside. Teacher Qin, please come in. It's been several years since we last met at Xiandao Academy. Lin Feng extended his hand and welcomed Qin Ming in. Yes, Dean Lin was planning to invite me to Monster Academy to teach last time. After seeing you today, I can see that the strength of Monster Academy is indeed extraordinary. Qin Ming, who sat down, was filled with emotion. I don't know, Dean Lin, is Monster Academy still short of teachers now? Then, Qin Ming stood up and picked up the teapot and asked directly. Hearing this, Lin Feng smiled inwardly. Sure enough, seeing the strength of Monster Academy, Qin Ming finally couldn't hold back. Of course, Monster Academy has always been open to outstanding people. What's more, you are a student taught by Teacher Flanders and Teacher Zhao Wuji? Lin Feng looked at the 2 former Shrek students with admiration while watching Qin Ming pour tea for him. Dean, you really flatter us. Only after coming to Monster Academy do I know what monster teaching is. We are far behind. Hearing this, Flanders and Zhao Wuji both scratched their heads and felt a little embarrassed. I didn't expect that the dean would think so highly of us. We should work harder for the academy in the future. Then it's settled. As soon as this elite competition is over, I will submit my resignation to Xiandao Academy. Come to Monster Academy to work. Qin Ming was excited, with a smile on his face, and said hurriedly. Welcome to join us. Lin Feng extended his hand to congratulate. It seems that in this first game, the reputation of Monster Academy has been made famous. Great, Monster Academy has a new teacher again. Seeing this, the team members, Xiao Wu and Ma Hongjin also celebrated happily. On the other side, after several rounds of fierce battles, the elite competition ring was in full swing. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4th round of our elite competition preliminaries has just ended. Xianshu's crushing victory brought us a wonderful battle. Then next, the 5th game of our All-Continental Advanced Elite Soul Master competition is about to begin. Please welcome our Blazing Fire Academy team and Thunder Academy team. On the ring, the host's loud and clear voice once again spread throughout the great soul fighting arena through the microphone. Blazing Fire, Thunder will win. The audience in the stands of the venue once again burst into thunderous shouts. On the ring, accompanied by the shouts of the audience, the 7 people from each team stood in place. Chiho, just a defeated opponent last year, Yu Xianming, the captain of the Thunder team, said disdainfully, and 4 yellow-purple soul rings on his right arm lit up. Martial Soul Possession, Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex, Yu Xianming, 43-level strong attack system Battle Soul Sect. In an instant, Yu Xianming's right sleeve exploded and turned into ashes due to the expansion of his right arm, and the length of his arm increased by more than half a foot. The entire arm and palm became extremely thick, covered with blue-purple scales. The blue-purple snake electricity circling around him continued to condense or flow on his arm. Last year, our academy was defeated by you. It doesn't mean we can't defeat you this year. Xiao Ho smiled, with a sharp look in his eyes, and replied in a deep voice. At the same time, 4 yellow-purple soul rings with the same configuration lit up under his feet. In the past few years of studying at the Monster Academy, all the members of the Chihiro Academy have learned a truth. People who are stronger than themselves are just there to spur themselves forward. The spirit is possessed by the Netherworld Fire, level 44 strong attack war soul sect. Please teach me. As soon as the voice fell, Xiaoho was wrapped in a layer of light blue flames, and his calm eyes emitted a blue flame at the same time. The temperature of the flame was extremely low, and the temperature of the entire arena dropped a few degrees in an instant. Wow, Xiaoho, the captain of the Blazing Fire team, is actually level 44. This is the first time I have seen a Blazing Academy soul sect appear in the elite arena so far. The host introduced in the sky with a bright look in his eyes. Brothers, let them have a good look at the current strength of our Blazing Fire team. Hearing this, Xiaoho curled his lips and said loudly. It's the captain. The spirit is possessed by the flowing fire, level 43 strong attack war soul sect. The deputy captain Liu Ho's body was covered with red flames, and the whole person was filled with a sea of fire, and the 4 soul rings under his feet lit up. The spirit is Mars, level 41 auxiliary war soul sect. Sparks fell instantly, and Ho Yanner of the Blazing Fire team smiled and said softly. Martial spirit possession. Immediately afterwards, the remaining 4 members of the Blazing Fire team activated their martial spirits one after another. Chapter 144 Dean Leiting was shocked. Chi-Ho, 3 Soul Masters? The Blazing Academy actually has 3 Soul Masters and 4 Soul Lords. The Blazing Academy's team strength this year is so luxurious, the host couldn't help but shout in surprise again. At the same time, almost at the same time. What, 3 Soul Masters? The lounges of each team exclaimed. Dean, I heard that the students of their academy have been studying and exchanging at the Monster Academy in recent years. Could it be because, a white-haired old man stroked his beard and said, it's the Monster Academy again. Dean Shenfeng's eyebrows were solemn, and he murmured in a deep voice. Thunder Team Lounge. Go and check the Blazing Academy for me. How could it be possible to cultivate 3 Soul Masters in just a few years? In the last competition, they didn't even have a level 42, the Dean of Thunder Academy scolded. On the VIP stage. Zuzing, Saris, Feng Zhi, it seems that the strength of each academy in our Xiandao Empire is not bad this year. Emperor Zuyi narrowed his eyes slightly and said proudly. Yes, thanks to my brother's leadership, it's only this year that such powerful teams as Blazing Academy and Monster Academy have emerged. Hearing this, Zuzing also hurriedly echoed. But he knew in his heart that all this was thanks to the Monster Academy, founded by Senior Dugu and the Lin family. Ning Fengzi and Saris smiled slightly on the side. But Saris's expression was somewhat clear, as the spy had just sent back the news from Monster Academy. Why is the Blazing Academy team so powerful? It turned out to be related to Monster Academy. It seems that we need to report this to the elders as soon as possible. Captain, they actually have 3 soul sects. You are the only soul sect in our team. On the stage, Lei Zhen, the deputy captain of Thunder Academy, said in disbelief. What are you afraid of, brothers? Open your martial spirits. My Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex is a top-level martial spirit, so what if there are 3 soul sects? Yu Xianming scolded instead of retreating. First soul skill, Thunder Dragon Claw. Without waiting for the other members of Thunder Academy to prepare, Yu Xianming took the lead in launching an attack. The team members were obviously afraid of the 3 Soul Masters. If they could not rely on their martial spirits to gain an advantage, the entire Thunder team would probably be devoured by the Blazing Fire team out of fear. I am participating in the Soul Master Elite competition this year at the age of 25. Only by winning can I have better training resources. Success or failure depends on this one move, Yu Xianming murmured in his heart. In an instant, he used the dragon claws in his right hand, attached with the power of blue lightning, and rushed towards Xiaoho quickly. Catch the thief first, huh? In an instant, Yu Xianming was only an inch away from Xiaoho. Third soul skill, Nether Flame Shield. Xiaoho smiled faintly, and a layer of light blue flame protection shield on his body instantly enveloped him. Captain, I will help you. First soul skill, Sparks like silk. Ho Yanner also reacted in a short time. The strands of sparks merged into the bodies of the Blazing Fire team members within the range, giving them resistance to the fire element and characteristics. If the Soul Master is a fire attribute, the skill power will be increased by 20%. The other 3 members of the Blazing Fire team ran towards the remaining members of the other team at the same time. Bang! After the huge sound of the soul skills colliding. The only sound left at the place where Yu Xianming and Xiaohou touched was the slight explosion of the remaining lightning. Xiaohou's light blue shield slowly disappeared. First soul skill, Ghost Flame. Inside the shield, Xiaohou was intact, and his right hand showed a cold flame, which continued to accumulate. How could it be? My lightning power can actually be absorbed by his ghost blue flame. Seeing this, Yu Xianming was extremely surprised and hurriedly distanced himself from Xiaohou. If you want to run, the second soul skill, Clouds of Sparks. Groups of sparks exploded behind Hou Yaner and Xiaohou, forming a misty red fire cloud that floated like a sunset glow. This spark power instantly increased the explosive movement speed of himself and the captain Xiaohou for 5 seconds. At this time, in the Monster Academy team lounge on the 2nd floor. An Erlong, the cooperation of this Blazing Fire Academy is quite good, Ma Hongjin, who is watching the game at the window, asked with a smile. Hearing the praise, Liu Erlong smiled faintly and looked aside. Of course, don't you see who taught you that? Flanders and Zhao Wuji beside Liu Erlong immediately stepped forward and said proudly. On the ring, in the blink of an eye, Yu Xianming, who was still flying backwards in the air, saw Xiaohou's figure in front of him. With a blessing of Hou Yaner's fire attribute and speed, the Nether Flame Fire Fist, which condensed the power of the Netherworld, hit his abdomen firmly. Puff! A mouthful of blood-red blood splashed from Yu Xianming's mouth, and Yu Xianming fell straight from the air. Captain! The remaining members of the Thunder team shouted worriedly on the other side of the field. Just in the few seconds just now, the 3 Soul Masters of the Blazing Fire team have completely surrounded them, and they are also exhausted from parrying. Third soul skill, Lightning Wings. Lei Zhen, the deputy captain of the Martial Soul Thunder Eagle, transformed into wings on his back and broke out of the encirclement. He flew towards Yu Xianming at a very fast speed, trying to help him escape from the attack range of Xiaohou on the opposite side. But before he could fly a few meters, your opponent is me. Third soul skill, Fire Shadow. At this time, before Lei Zhen flew forward to catch Yu Xianming, Liu Hou of the Blazing Fire team shouted at him. A clone of Liu Hou instantly appeared beside Lei Zhen. Liu Hou, first soul skill, Thunder Eagle Claw Kick. Lei Zhen paused, glanced at the falling Yu Xianming, turned around and accumulated the power of thunder and lightning, and flew straight towards Liu Hou's figure. But the next second, after touching Liu Hou's body, Liu Hou's figure turned into flame and dissipated. You are careless, my real body is here. Fire Fist. Liu Hou flew to Lei Zhen's side, and with a punch of power, Lei Zhen fell to the ground with a bang. Cough cough, Lei Zhen spat out several mouthfuls of blood. Third soul skill, Sparks Rain. With a soul master guarding in the corner, Hou Yaner, who was absolutely safe, released her soul skill again. Fire Rain burst out from the sky, and the entire team instantly increased their attack power and soul power by 50%. It's over. Fourth soul skill, Netherworld Fire Explosion. In the air, Xiaohou looked down at the entire competition stage and shouted. A huge blue curtain condensed in the blink of an eye, completely covering the entire arena, and dots of light blue flames hung all over the curtain. The vision of everyone in the Thunder team was blocked at this moment. Xiaohou stood on the air, like a demon descending. With a light tap of his fingers, the blue flame fell straight down. Bang, bang, bang. After a series of sparks, all members of the Thunder team were injured and fell to the ground unable to move. The dark blue curtain disappeared, and Yu Xianming, who fell to the ground, looked at the sky with dissatisfaction in his eyes. How could this be? As soon as the voice fell, the whole person fainted. Quick, hurry up and treat him. The host, who saw the situation on the stage clearly in the sky, hurriedly called for rescuers to come forward. Soon, all the members of the Thunder team were dragged off the stage. I declare that the 5th match of the Xiandao Division qualifiers of the All-Continental High-Level Soul Master Elite Competition is won by the Blazing Academy. A few more matches ended and the night fell quietly. The first day of the Xiandao Division qualifiers of the All-Continental High-Level Soul Master Competition is over, the host announced loudly on the stage. The deans of Xianshu, Thunder, Shenfeng, and Xiangjia Academies looked at each other in front of the Monster Academy team lounge. Who are you? Dean Shenfeng said first. You also got the news and came to the Monster Academy? The dean of Xiangjia Academy asked in confusion. Ahem, I was just passing by. Dean Leiting's eyes dodged and defended himself. At this moment, the door of the Monster Academy creaked open. The eyes of several people instantly met with Lin Feng, who is the leader. You? Is there something wrong? Lin Feng asked softly with great confusion. Chapter 145, Dean Leiting is defeated, Monster Academy recruits students again. Dean Lin, can we have a word with Dean Dugu? Dean Shenfeng spoke first. The other deans also looked at Lin Feng kindly. Flunder, take everyone back to the hotel to rest first. Lin Feng understood instantly and turned to Flunder behind him. After the Monster Academy left, Lin Feng led the deans into the lounge. Everyone, what's the matter? Lin Feng asked directly without beating around the bush. Dean Lin, we all heard today, the 3 Soul Masters and 4 Soul Lords of the Blazing Academy team are all here because of exchange and study in your Monster Academy. I wonder if our academy can send some outstanding students to study there? The Dean of the Elephant Armor Academy asked politely with a big smile on his face. Excellent students. What students? Although our Monster Academy has issued a statement to the mainland at the beginning of the school, people from various colleges can come to our school for exchange and study. I didn't see any of you come at that time, but now that Blazing Academy has achieved results, you are coming here one after another. Dugubo's face was dark, and he hated the faces of this group of people. Before, maybe because of Yu Yuan's existence, he might have been a little polite to Dean Leiting. But now, the Lin family behind him has the support of peerless Douluo and pet soul beasts that are more than 100,000 years old. Unless people from the Pope's palace come, he may still be a little afraid, but now this group of people are nothing in front of him. Hearing this, Dean Leiting's face instantly darkened, but he couldn't say anything. At the beginning of the establishment of Monster Academy, he said that the fledgling students did not know the depth of the mainland. But the strength developed by Monster Academy in just a few years has made them sigh in despair. Alice, we were blind at the beginning, and that's why we lost such a good opportunity. Dean Leiting gritted his teeth and swallowed his anger, apologizing with a smile on his face. Yes, Senior Dugu, don't be angry. We are all from the Xiandao Empire. Don't let this hurt the relationship. Hearing this, the deans of Shenfeng and Xiangjia College also hurriedly echoed. Ha, Grandpa Du, calm down. Since their attitude is so sincere, why don't we put aside the past grudges? Exchange students are a win-win situation for everyone. Do our students have some novel ideas that can really help improve our teaching? Isn't it the case with the previous Chihiro College? Lin Feng turned to the side and said to Dugubo, however, we now have a principle for recruiting exchange students. It's not just about what you say is excellent. Now we only recruit reserve team members of your college team for the next term as exchange students. Changing the subject, Lin Feng continued. Xia Feng, you are thoughtful in thinking this way. You can avoid sending all the rotten fish and shrimp to us, wasting our teaching resources. Hearing this, Dugubo nodded secretly and said, Dean Dugu, don't worry, we will pay for the teaching. The other few people heard that this matter was promising and immediately took over. They didn't have to go to the Monster Academy. But if they lost this opportunity and were preempted by other academies, they would never have the right to survive in the elite competition again. Is it just about money? Lin Feng's head sank and he asked in embarrassment. Dean Lin, look at what you said. Of course not. Some high-quality shops and some land resources under our academy can be transferred to you at a preferential price. The dean of Xiangjia Academy immediately understood and showed his chips. Compared with this loss, if they achieve results in the elite competition, compared with a royal reward, this is simply a drop in the bucket. We are willing to. Seeing that the dean of Xiangjia was so enthusiastic, Shenfeng and Leiting agreed. In that case, Grandpa Du, we will just agree with it reluctantly. Lin Feng waved his hand, smiled and turned to Dugubo and said, Okay, if I hadn't seen your sincerity, I would never agree. Dugubo also raised his head and said proudly, Thank you, Dean Lin, thank you, Dean Dugu. Hearing this, several all bowed their hands to thank him. Okay, after this elite competition is over, you can send someone. As for the shops and land you mentioned, my second uncle Yu Wuming will deal with you. After saying that, Lin Feng took Dugubo and the others and walked straight out the door. Only a few people were left behind, and their moods were different. Dean Shenfeng had a painful expression and was still regretting his shop. Dean Leiting frowned and glared, full of bitterness, and cursed in his heart. When did their Leiting Academy look at other people's faces like this? Only Dean Xiangjia couldn't restrain his mood and was very happy. Oh, this time I made a lot of money. But without exception, after a period of silence. Congratulations, congratulations, the three of them congratulated each other for being able to go to the Monster Academy to exchange and study together. At the same time, in the meeting hall of the Spirit Hall. Elder, in today's Xiandao Empire Elite competition, the Monster Academy in the Xiandao Division actually produced a Spirit Master with mental power control comparable to the Soul Emperor level. After the Blazing Academy team exchanged and studied at the Monster Academy, the team members had 3 Soul Masters and 4 Soul Lords. Bishop Saris specially ordered me to report this to you. A subordinate knelt on one knee and said with a fist. Monster Academy, isn't that the academy opened by Old Poison? Yu Guan fiddled with his orchid fingers and said with disdain. Okay, I know, you go back first, pay close attention to the Monster Academy and report any situation at any time. Yes, the subordinate nodded in reply, then quickly turned around and left the hall. Behind him, Yu Guan did not stop and immediately walked towards the direction of the Pope's Hall. On the other side, Xingluo Empire, Xingluo City Great Soul Fighting Arena. Your Majesty, today the secret agents of the Xiandao Empire sent a message. The Monster Academy appeared in the Xiandao Division qualifiers, an elder reported to Emperor Xingluo in the VIP lounge. Haha, interesting, it seems that in recent years, a lot of new generation talents have emerged in the Xiandao Empire. Mu Qing, it seems that our plan needs to be advanced. We must not let Xiandao develop like this. Emperor Xingluo turned sideways, frowned slightly, and said sternly. Yes, Your Majesty. Upon hearing this, a nobleman below clasped his fists and said. 5 days later, the Xiandao Division qualifiers came to a perfect end. The qualifiers that advanced were the Monster Academy, Blazing Academy, Thunder Academy, Divine Wind Academy, and Elephant Armor Academy. During the period, Lin Zhu fought 1 against 7, and even won 4 games for the Monster Academy. For a time, the name of the Monster Academy spread throughout the Xiandao Empire. Even the hotel under the Monster Academy became bustling, with guests coming and going in an endless stream. During the interval between the Elite Tournament qualifiers and the Promotion Tournament, the Rose Hotel where Monster Academy stayed, Lin Feng's lounge. Dean Lin, in addition to the students who want to come to our academy for exchange and study, there are many talented students who want to come to our academy recently. Flanders pushed open the door, smiling and proudly said. Good news, I have been discussing this with Grandpa Du these 2 days. Monster Academy has added an enrollment. Flanders, you take Lin Shui back to work on this matter. Lin Feng smiled slightly and said to Flanders in a deep voice. Yes, Dean, I'll do it right away. Flanders replied with a folded fist and turned to leave. Chapter 146, Red Lotus Field Instant Kill, Emperor Zhu Yi's Reward. 2 days later, the gate of Monster Academy was once again filled with people as it was during the first enrollment. Don't squeeze, get in line, a clear and loud voice shouted at the crowd. It was Qin Ming. Thank you for your hard work, Teacher Qin. At this time, Flanders patted Qin Ming's shoulder and smiled. Teacher Flanders, you don't know, I haven't seen such a scene for a long time. A few days ago, I heard that you were going to enroll again, so I just handed in my resignation and I won't wait any longer. It seems that my choice was not wrong. Monster Academy will be the place where I will devote my life. Qin Ming took the water and said with emotion. On the other side, the Great Fighting Spirit Arena in the northern area of Xiandao City. Ladies and gentlemen, the Xiandao Empire qualifying round of the Continental Elite Soul Master competition begins now. In addition to the 5 teams that have advanced from our Xiandao division, there are 10 qualifying places from other kingdoms and principalities in our Xiandao Empire, a total of 15 teams. For this qualifying round, we will continue to use the individual competition format. Without further ado, please welcome the first player of our Monster Academy, Lin Jian. The host was wearing a purple tight skirt, and her sexy voice resounded throughout the venue through the microphone. Lin Jian, Monster. The venue erupted with cheers for Monster Academy, which was much higher than the preliminaries. At this time, the VIP stage of the Grand Soul Fighting Arena. 25-year-old, 49-level Soul Master Lin Zhu has already made him shine. I wonder how many surprises this Lin Jian can bring to me. Emperor Xingga looked kindly, his eyes straight at the competition stage, thinking in his heart. A moment later, Lin Jian stood still on the competition stage with a shout that broke the sky. The cheers continued for another minute. So, He will face Lei Bao from our Shyandao Royal Academy, the host's voice sounded again. This time I bet on Monster Academy to win. Yes, I put all my money on it. You don't know, the odds for Monster Academy are now 1,000. Lin Jian, Lin Jian. After a bustle of the audience in the stands, the cheers for Lin Jian rang out again. After a while, Lei Bao came to one end of the ring. Looking at the reaction of the crowd in the venue, Lei Bao felt embarrassed in an instant. Did you change people, boy? Let me see if your academy is the only one who can fight. Lin Zhu, Martial Soul, Lightning Leopard, Level 39 Agility Attack War Soul Master. In an instant, Lei Bao's body was covered with lightning, his leg muscles swelled, and his body was covered with yellow hair. Noisy, before Lei Bao could react, the next second. Red Lotus Domain, Lin Jian's body suddenly generated a highly aggressive domain space, pulling Lei Bao in. What happened? Yeah, why are they gone? At this time, the original shouting in the venue instantly turned into whispering conversations. It's actually a domain. Isn't it possible to cultivate it only after the title is sealed? In the lounges of various teams, eyes gathered at the center of the ring. Lin Jian, Lin Jian. Red Lotus Domain, especially Dean Leiting. His body was sluggish, his eyes were almost overflowing, and he whispered in a low voice. Domain, not bad, not bad. This Lin Jian really gave me a big shock. Emperor Zhu Yi also smiled slightly, turned his head and said to Zhu Xing beside him. At this time, on the competition stage, Lei Bao's martial spirit had already dissipated under the suppression of the domain. And a blazing fire lotus sword was placed directly on his neck, and the power of the domain was slowly released by Lin Jian. Lost, Lei Bao knelt on his knees, his eyes dull, and he was defeated without even seeing the opponent's martial spirit. I declare that the first match of the All-Continental Elite Soul Master Competition promotion match, Monster Academy wins. I believe that once the domain is released, everyone will have no doubt about the strength of Monster Academy. Next, please welcome the second place of our Thunder Academy. The host announced the result passionately. No need, we admit defeat. At this time, Dean Leiting, who came to the first floor, frowned and said helplessly. It's not that he didn't want their students to continue the competition, but the gap in strength was too great. And on the VIP stage, after discussion by the organizing committee, I declare that in this promotion match, Monster Academy will be directly sent to the finals. After the Emperor whispered a few words to Zhu Xing and the other two beside him, Prince Zhu Xing stood up, and his deep voice instantly spread throughout the venue. After that, Emperor Zhu Yi walked straight to the Monster Academy lounge on the second floor, followed by Zhu Xing and his group of 3. Well done, Lin Jian, we made money. Monster, monster. Thunderous applause sounded again below the stadium. On the stage, the attendant beside Emperor Zhu Yi briefly talked to the host. The next match is between our Xiangjia Academy and Chihiro Academy. The host promptly controlled the scene and announced the start of the match. At the same time, in the lounge of Monster Academy, Your Majesty, His Majesty Prince Zhu Xing, Bishop Saris, and Sect Master Ning, Lin Feng and his group saluted to the group. Dean Lin Feng, Dean Dugu, Zhu Yi looked at the two with satisfaction and said with a smile. Zhu Xing, Ning Fengzi and others behind him also nodded. I wonder if Dean Lin is willing to be a guest official of our royal family. Zhu Yi continued what he had just said. Your Majesty, I am the son of Lin Yi, the Marquess of Shyandao City, and I am already a member of the royal family. It's better not to be a guest official. I'm used to freedom. Hearing this, Lin Feng was stunned, but still answered in a humble manner. Well said, you are bold and courageous, worthy of being the son of my great general Lin Yi. Emperor Zhu Yi could not help but praise him. Ning Fengzi behind him was shocked when he heard this. It was the first time he saw such a fierce person who dared to refuse the emperor's reward. But then he thought that he, Lin Feng, had the confidence. I asked Zhu Xing to show me the information of your team members a few days ago. I wanted to see what surprises this Lin Jian would bring me, but I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it. At this point, Emperor Zhu Yi became more and more excited and his voice became higher. We just discussed it, and I think there is no need to compete. The Monster Academy will be promoted directly, and all team members will be rewarded. Then, the entourage on the side announced, Lin Jian, Lin Zhu, conferred the title of Viscount. Reward 1 million gold soul coins. A mansion, 100 hectares of fertile land, the rest of the people. Conferred the title of Baron. Reward 500,000 gold soul coins. A mansion, 50 hectares of fertile land. As soon as the voice fell. Your Majesty, we are still willing to follow Dean Lin. After all, Dean Lin has been very kind to us. We don't want this reward, except for Lin Jian and Lin Zhu. The other 5 people refused. Lin Jian and Lin Zhu's family were originally the future heirs to the family title, so they accepted the reward. Hearing this, Emperor Zhu Yi's face was a little gloomy, but he looked at Dugu, who was stroking his beard and looking at the team members with a smug look. Okay, you are really worthy of being the good boys of Xiandao. If Monster Academy needs anything in the future, just tell Zhu Xing. Our royal family will do our best to help you, Zhu Yi continued in a deep voice. It's not that he didn't read the information Zhu Xing gave him. Now, Monster Academy belongs to the Lin family. And the Lin family is a marquis conferred by the royal family. In the end, they are still working for the royal family. Thank you, Your Majesty. Hearing this, everyone in Monster Academy bowed and thanked. After a few simple greetings, Zhu Yi led Zhu Xing and others away. Ning Fengzi and Salis, who were walking at the end, turned around the corner of the door and looked back at Lin Feng and sighed with complicated expressions. Chapter 147 Tang San is rejected for admission, the truth behind Yu Xiaogang's death. At the same time, a man with a scruffy beard and a frowning brow and a fair-skinned boy silently left their seats in the stadium. Hey, Xiao-san, let's go back first. From now on, I will take you to practice well and not in college, Yu Xiaogang said in a deep voice with the vicissitudes of life on his face. Before, he thought that Lin Zhu alone was enough to subvert his cognition. Now that Lin Jian appeared again, his cognition was completely broken. Now he has some confidence in Tang San. Okay, teacher, Tang San responded slowly. He glanced at Lin Jian on the ring in his peripheral vision, and envied him secretly in his heart. What he saw and heard in the elite competition with Yu Xiaogang these days caused him to doubt the knowledge taught by Yu Xiaogang now. Yu Xiaogang's title of master seems to be just an empty reputation. Monster College, it seems that is the place suitable for me. When Tang San thought of Lin Zhu and Lin Jian in the Monster College on the ring again, Tang San murmured silently in his heart. Tang San came back to his senses and his eyes fell on the deflated Yu Xiaogang. Go back to not in college to practice well? Yu Xiaogang, what do you mean? You said it was you who led me to the Soul Master world, and now you want me to go back to that shitty place to practice? Do you want me to be trapped in that place for the rest of my life? Before there was Tang Hao, and now there is you? On the other side, it was already late at night at Lin Feng's place. Dean, I just received news from Flanders that our Monster Academy has recruited 3 more suitable students. There are still many people who want to pass the weird assessment, waiting for the dean to review. Zhao Wuji couldn't wait to report when he saw Lin Feng. Okay, I got it, Grandpa. The academy team has now been recommended to the finals. Flanders is expected to be in charge of this recruitment for 2 more days. Now there is still a month before the finals. I'll go back and take a look, Lin Feng said after thinking for a moment. Well, the academy must have many things to do during this recruitment, so it's good to go back and deal with them during this time. Dugu stroked his beard and said in a deep voice with a smile on his face. At night, in a remote hotel in Xiandao City. In the innermost windowless single room, there was a lingering incense on the table. On the bed, Yu Xiaogang had already fallen asleep. Yu Xiaogang, don't blame me. Only strength is the iron rule for survival in this world. From now on, I will pursue my own path. Tang San, who was standing by, wiped the cold dagger in his hand calmly and gently gestured at his neck twice. And you, as someone who knows my secret, must I? Suddenly, his eyes were stern, and he raised the dagger and quickly dropped it. With a pooh sound, the bright red blood instantly stained the bedding. Corpse water, specially prepared for you. Tang San took out a bottle and poured the liquid on the corpse. When he finished dealing with everything in the hotel, the sky gradually brightened. He walked out of the hotel door calmly, asked along the way, and walked towards the fire control city where the Monster Academy was located. 2 days later in the morning, the warm sun filled the earth. Lin Feng was originally going to go back yesterday, but he stayed for another day because Emperor Zhu Yi invited him to attend the banquet. In front of the Rose Hotel, 3 carriages were already waiting. Lin Feng and his group got on the carriages and drove back slowly. When they arrived at the Yuhao City Monster Academy, it was already dark. Lin Feng did not stay for long, and took Lin Zhu and Lin Jian straight to the training room for the second assessment. Young master, this is the list of people who meet the requirements and enter the assessment in the past 2 days. In front of the training room door, Flanders, who had been waiting there for a long time, handed over the list of people recruited in the past 2 days. Lin Feng took the list and quickly glanced at it. There were a total of 5 people. But one name suddenly caught his attention. Tang San, innate full soul power, martial soul blue silver grass, Tang San. Lin Feng put away the list and couldn't help but talk to himself. Oh, young master, you are talking about this Tang San. It's strange, today we were planning to close the door and stop recruiting students. This little boy should have squeezed to the front of the crowd, saying that he would be given the test. Hey, guess what? It's actually full innate spirit power, but it's a pity. The martial soul is blue silver grass, a useless martial soul. Flanders lowered his eyes and sighed. Full innate spirit power. This is the first time our academy has recruited a student with full innate spirit power in recent years. Lin Zhu behind him also asked in surprise. Waste soul, Lin Feng muttered to himself, thinking about what happened when he met Tang San 2 days ago. At this time, should Tang San be with the master? Why did he appear in Yuhuo City and Monster Academy today? Is he here alone today? Lin Feng asked. Yes, Tang San said that he heard about the Monster Academy's enrollment 2 days ago, and came here after one of his teachers agreed. In the final analysis, he was attracted by our Monster Academy's enrollment concept. Monster Academy only accepts monsters, Flanders said proudly. Where are Tang San and the others, then? Lin Feng asked calmly. He and the others are inside. Then you go back first, Flanders, leave this to me. After that, Lin Feng walked straight into the training room. On the training ground, the 5 members had already stood still. Lin Zhu, you take Tang San in for the test first. Seeing Tang San's figure, Lin Feng directly said to Lin Zhu beside him. Yes, young master, Tang San, come in for the test. Then, several people walked towards the special small room in the training room. As soon as they entered the door of the room, Tang San's eyes met Lin Zhu's, and before he could speak, he fell into the hypnotic effect. Tang San, why did you come to our Monster Academy? Lin Feng asked directly to the hypnotized Tang San. To become stronger, Gang said he would take me back to Notting Academy to study. I don't want to be a coward there forever. Tang San's eyes were dull and he answered mechanically. Gang? Isn't it right for him to take you back to Notting Academy? Lin Feng asked curiously. Before he took me to watch the elite competition this time, he said he would take me to explore the continent. We traveled and took me to practice, but after seeing Lin Zhu and Lin Jian from your Monster Academy at the elite competition this time, his attitude towards me changed, or he felt that there was no hope for me. At this point, Tang San's lips, which were originally under the effect of hypnosis, trembled slightly, and even showed some signs of awakening. Lin Zhu increased the hypnosis. Seeing this, Lin Feng asked Lin Zhu to increase the effect of hypnosis again. Although Tang San had cultivated the purple extreme demon eye, the huge gap in strength could not be made up by the technique alone. Lin Zhu, who was standing aside, was also very confused at this time. It seems that this little boy is very familiar with the young master. But the young master has always been knowledgeable, so it is normal that he has always known this little boy with full innate soul power. Let me ask you again, you came here alone, where's Gang? Lin Feng continued. I killed him in the hotel the day before yesterday. Hearing this, Lin Feng was shocked. He actually killed Gang? Young master, Lin Zhu, who was standing beside him, also saw this and asked stutteringly. Lin Jian, go and call Liu Erlong over. Lin Feng calmly looked at Lin Jian and said in a deep voice. Yes, young master. After Lin Jian left, Lin Feng asked again, why did you kill him? Because he knew the secret of my twin martial souls, and he also told me that I am from the Haoshan sect. He knows too much. When he pointed out my twin martial souls when we first met, he was destined to be killed by me. At that time, he wanted me to worship him as my master, but he didn't know that I already had a master. Hearing this, Lin Feng understood. This Tang San is truly a man with evil ambitions. Chapter 148 Tang San, Monster Academy, there is already a way to die. So, Lin Feng asked Tang San again how he killed Gang and where Gang's body was now. Soon, Liu Erlong came to the room under the guidance of Lin Jian. Tang San, isn't this the disciple next to Gang? Why is he here? Liu Erlong couldn't help asking when she saw Tang San's face. Tang San killed Gang the day before yesterday. He lit a magic incense in the hotel where they stayed and cut the artery in Yu Xiaogang's neck with his own hands. I think you and Yu Xiaogang were brothers. I'd better let you know about this. Lin Feng, who was standing aside, said word by word. Oh, I know, just kill him. Yu Xiaogang has nothing to do with me anymore. From the day he failed me, he should have died long ago. Hearing this, Liu Erlong said calmly, without any ripples in her heart. Okay, tell Flanders about this later. After all, the three of you had the best relationship back then. After hearing Liu Erlong's answer, Lin Feng continued. I think it's not necessary. With a friendship between Flanders and Yu Xiaogang, if he knew about this Tang San, I don't know what he would do. Young master, let me handle this matter. Liu Erlong frowned and said in a deep voice. Okay, Tang San failed the assessment, you go and send him away. Then, Lin Feng ordered Liu Erlong. Yes, young master, in front of the gate of the Monster Academy. Liu Erlong picked up Tang San with one hand and threw him out. It's useless for you to have full soul power. What is a useless martial spirit Blue Silvergrass yelling about? Liu Erlong said impatiently. After receiving the order from young master Lin Feng, he threw him out without stopping. Huh? What are you proud of? Isn't it just a broken academy? I don't care about it, Tang San cursed. Since he left the Holy Soul Village and left the confinement of that useless Tang Hao, it was the first time he saw someone treat him like this. Monster Academy, wait, you've got a way to die? Tang San gnashed his teeth and cursed again. Hey, Tang San, you're looking for a fight, aren't you? Liu Erlong never tolerated people who insulted the academy. It was the case with Blue Tyrant Academy in the past, and now it's even more so with Monster Academy. The next second, Liu Erlong appeared in front of Tang San in a flash. Her palm-sized hands covered Lin Feng's face with force. Pa pa pa, after a few sounds. Tang San's face was already swollen beyond recognition. Then, Liu Erlong exerted a little force and lifted Tang San up again with one hand. Soul power surged around his body, and he was thrown more than 10 meters away in an instant. Kid, remember, think before you speak next time. Monster Academy only accepts monsters, not trash. After that, the door of Monster Academy slammed shut, and Liu Erlong walked in angrily. When he came to the training room, he saw Lin Zhu and Lin Jian assigning dormitories with the other 4 people. It seemed that they had all passed the second round of tests. Where is the young master? Lin Zhu, Liu Erlong asked Lin Zhu in confusion. Usually, when the second assessment was over, he would see the young master standing aside and looking at the others. Why was there no one there today? After walking all day, the young master said he was tired and went back to rest. Oh, then you should go back early after you're done. I'll leave first. Liu Erlong said hello and left first. A few minutes later, after Lin Zhu explained the precautions, she took a few new students away from the trainer and walked towards their residence. The next day, at the Monster Academy Reserve Team training ground, the Monster Academy Reserve Team members have assembled. Zhao Wuji's high-pitched voice resounded throughout the training ground. Lin Feng glanced at the few people, full of energy. These are the people who will accompany him to participate in the competition in the future. The leader of the reserve team is Dugu Yan, 16 years old, level 51. Now Dugu Yan is the strongest in their reserve team, and is also the deputy captain of the team. Next to her was Yi Lingling, 16 years old, level 46. In the past few years, after she was given an outstanding talent, Yi Lingling's cultivation speed has been very fast. She was envious of her and Yaner's soul power, so she put a lot of effort into cultivation. Next to them were the Shi brothers, Shimo and Shimo, both of whom were level 42. Due to the previous herbs and the new Xuanwu entry that was refreshed later, the current strength of the two can be said to be greatly improved. Power of Xuanwu, purple, your martial soul becomes Xuanwu and gains the power of Xuanwu. After the martial souls of the two changed, not only did their soul power speed improve rapidly, but even their martial soul fusion skills became more tacit. Now with the strength of their martial soul fusion skills, they can compete with the Soul Emperor. After looking at the people standing in the first row, Lin Feng looked at the second row again. Chapter 149 The Choice of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile Sect, New Members of the Reserve Team. The first person standing in the second row is Yu Feng, 17 years old, level 39. Previously, he relied on the fairy grass given to him by Lin Feng, and his martial soul changed into the devil bird. His ability to control the mind power of the devil's chaotic sound and disturb the enemy's mind is almost the same as Lin Zhu, and he is invincible to Soul Masters below the level of Soul King. Next to him is Xiaoyu, 9 years old, and his soul power has reached level 32. After taking the fairy grass, Narcissus Jade Muscle and Bone, he refined his physique, beautified his face, and improved his soul power by 8 levels. Previously, Lin Feng refreshed him with purple teleportation. Unlike Lin Feng's teleportation, her entry has a distance limit. Teleportation, purple, you gain the ability to teleport, with a range of 200 meters. You can release it 3 times in a row without consuming soul power. This entry, combined with her own third soul skill, the space movement with a range of 100 meters, can be used to surprise the enemy in team battles and achieve unexpected results. Next is Ma Hongjin, who took the coxcomb phoenix sunflower prepared by Lin Feng for him. His martial soul, the evil fire phoenix, has now evolved into the top martial soul, the fire phoenix, and its soul power has reached level 31. Unfortunately, no special purple entry has been refreshed. The last person is Oscar, 11 years old, with full innate soul power, and level 24. Not long ago, after Lin Feng discovered his figure, he sent someone to bring him to the monster to learn. He also refreshed the purple entry of the sausage specialist that is extremely suitable for him. Sausage specialist, purple, for every soul ring you have, the sausage you produce will be copied, without the need to consume extra soul power. That is to say, for the current soul master Oscar, when he produces 1 sausage, it will become 4. Only 1 soul power is needed. When he reaches the Titled Douluo, it will become 10 times. Lin Jian, bring the things you prepared for everyone, Lin Feng said slowly and solemnly, putting away his gaze. Yes, young master, soon. Lin Jian placed a box in front of each person, but there was one more. Dean, this, you will know later. There will be a new member joining your team today. Lin Feng smiled and kept it a secret. A new member, who will it be? I don't know. I know that after attending the banquet a few days ago, Lin Feng mentioned that the academy will have another new student. Dugu Yan and several others were whispering in the audience. After everyone opens the box, there are pills and fairy grass prepared for everyone to increase their soul power. Some people have already taken the fairy grass before, so they didn't prepare it this time. Now everyone open it and take it. Lin Feng stood on the high platform and announced to everyone. Now he has gained the ability to copy entries for others. So thinking of taking advantage of this opportunity, he plans to replace everyone's low-level entries with innate full soul power. Ma Hongjin, is the welfare of Monster Academy so good? This is fairy grass, extremely precious. Okay, Oscar touched Ma Hongjin with his arm and asked in a low voice. It's not that he doesn't know what fairy grass is. In the remote town where he stayed before, the teacher also talked about it, but the teacher also said that it was an extremely precious existence and ordinary people could not have it at all. Oscar, you've only been here for a short time, so you don't know the strength of the academy. The academy is never stingy with people with outstanding talents. I also have Sister Yaner in front of me, and Sister Lingling has already taken the fairy grass. This time the dean gave me some more pills. I haven't finished eating some of the pills I gave you before. The pills improve quickly, but it still takes some time to convert the soul power into your own power before you can continue to take it. Let's not talk about it for now. Hurry in and take it. Ma Hongjin covered his mouth and replied in a low voice. Hearing this, Oscar was very surprised. It seems that what the young master said before was indeed right, and the Monster Academy will not let him down. Soon, everyone sat cross-legged and opened the box in front of them. In front of Oscar was the 8-petal fairy orchid. This was the fairy grass that best suited his martial soul and physique. After the 7 people below stood still, Lin Feng glanced at everyone. System, copy the entry of innate full soul power. Ding. Copy successfully. System, replace the entry. Ding. Ma Hongjin's white entry of violent replaced the purple innate full soul power. Replacement successful. Ding. Yu Fang's white entry of brother control replaced the purple innate full soul power. Replacement successful. As a series of sounds rang out, everyone's innate soul power became innate full soul power. Flender, this is left to you. After everyone absorbs the fairy grass, you must practice in seclusion for 2 days to condense your soul power. When we were in Xiandao City before, Sect Master Ning said that he would come to visit today. I think the time is almost up. Immediately, Lin Feng looked at Flender standing beside him and instructed. Yes, young master, Flender replied with a bow. An hour later, at the entrance of the Monster Academy, Lin Feng and Dugu received a report from the guard. As soon as they walked out of the gate of the academy, they saw the figure of Ning Fengzi, the sect master of the Seven Treasures Glazed sect behind him. There was also a young girl who seemed to have a very close relationship with him. Master Ning, Miss Ning, Lin Feng greeted politely first. Dean Lin, Dean Dugu, this is my daughter Ning Rongrong. Hearing this, Ning Fengzi also hurriedly returned the greeting. Dean Lin, Dean Dugu, Ning Rongrong greeted Lin Feng and the others politely. Ho ha, I haven't seen you for so many years. Rongrong has grown into a big girl, Dugu said with a kind face and a smile. The two were soon welcomed into Lin Feng's office in the academy. Dean Lin, I brought my daughter to you. I hope Dean Lin can put aside the past grudges and take good care of her. Ning Fengzi stretched out his hand and said as soon as he sat down. Well, I won't regret what I said a few days ago. It's just what Master Ning promised. Lin Feng waved his hand and said with a smile. At this time, Dugu's eyes also looked at Ning Fengzi. He never thought that the Seven Treasures Glazed sect would bow its head. Unexpectedly, at the royal banquet a few days ago, in order for his daughter to come to the Monster Academy, Ning Fengzi actually offered to cede his shop and form a team for Lin Yi, the head of the Lin family, to dispatch. It seems that Ning Fengzi knows how to judge the situation. Since he recognized the strength of the Monster Academy and saw that the Academy has become a favorite in the eyes of the royal family during this elite competition, he has been thinking about trying to please them. Don't worry, Dean Lin, it's just that your Academy will protect our Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect from now on. Ning Fengzi lowered the cane in his hand, changed the subject, and asked with a smile. Of course, I hope we can cooperate with each other and work together in the future. Lin Feng smiled and replied. In that case, it couldn't be better. I will order my clan members to come and hand over the specific matters promised before to your academy after the end of this elite competition. Wrong. I'll leave it to Dean Lin. After another round of simple courtesy, Ning Fengzi stood up and said goodbye. Hearing this, Lin Feng and Dugu both nodded. Dad, Ning Rongrong shouted reluctantly as she watched Ning Fengzi leave. Rongrong, be good. It was Dad who fought hard for you to study at Monster. You must work hard here. Ning Fengzi paused, turned around, squatted down, and gently stroked her face with his palm. Chapter 150, Monster Academy, the elite gathering place of the Xiandao Empire. Chapter 150 The gathering place of the elites of the Xiandao Empire, Monster Academy. After Ning Fengzi left. Come here, call Lin Jian to take Rongrong to the training ground for training. Rongrong, you come to Monster Academy and I have nothing to give you. Think of what Senior Lin Jian gives you as a gift. At this time, Lin Feng stepped forward and said earnestly. He had his own plans for Ning Rongrong. The future leader of the Seven Treasures Glazed sect would be a great help to him. After Lin Jian and Ning Rongrong left, Fen, the other colleges that were eliminated at the banquet 2 days ago have already started sending students from the reserve team to our college. It is estimated that they will arrive in 2 days. This elite competition has completely established a reputation of the college. Our college can be said to have become the gathering place of the elites of the Xiandao Empire. Ho ha, Dugu stroked his beard and sighed with the vicissitudes of life. He had never seen such a scene in his life. Although there are undercurrents everywhere on the continent, the Monster Academy now seems to have become a place that everyone is vying to come to. It can be seen that in their eyes, the Monster Academy is undoubtedly the safest and most trustworthy place. Yes, Grandpa. Hearing this, Lin Feng also sighed and said. 2 days later, the sun just rose from the east in the morning. Young Master, the reserve team members of the Divine Wind, Elephant Armor, and Kanghu Academy have arrived in Yuhuo City. They also brought news that the reserve team members of the other 5 kingdoms and principalities such as the Bara Kingdom will arrive in 2 days. Lin Jian came to Lin Feng's office early in the morning to report the situation. Yes, I know. Arrange for them to stay first. 3 days later, all teams will hold the opening ceremony of the Monster Academy. Lin Feng nodded and answered calmly. After a while, Dugu Yan and his group finished their training and came to Lin Feng's office. Lin Feng, do you know how much soul power Oscar has reached? As soon as he entered the door, Dugu Yan kept it a secret and asked Lin Feng. Level 36, Lin Feng sat on the soft chair and glanced at Oscar slowly. Oh, that's boring. You always guess so accurately, Dugu Yan pouted and said coquettishly. Okay, in 2 days, people from other colleges will be back. When the time comes, you should get ready. We will follow the team to leave the college and go to Wuhan City to participate in the first few days of the finals. I plan to let you teach them. What do you think? Lin Feng continued. Okay, I was worried that there was no one to play with. I want to teach these new guys what cultivation is, Dugu Yan said excitedly with a gleam in her eyes. Hearing this, even the usually steady Yilingling was eager to try. Rongrong, how do you feel? At this time, Lin Feng looked at Ning Rongrong in the corner and asked. Thank you, Dean. After absorbing the immortal grass you gave me, my martial soul evolved into the 9 treasures glazed pagoda. The soul power has reached level 30. The exact level will be known after I obtain the 3rd soul ring, Ning Rongrong said excitedly with tears in her eyes. The 9 treasures glazed pagoda was her father's lifelong dream, and she didn't expect it to be realized in her today. And she will become the only one in the family who may cultivate into Titled Douluo. What? The 9 treasures glazed pagoda? That means Rongrong has broken the confinement of their family in the future, among them, Yilingling said in shock. Dean, if Rongrong is needed in the future, Rongrong will definitely do his duty. At this time, Ning Rongrong knelt on one knee and said suddenly with a firm look in her eyes. Get up quickly, get up quickly. Beside her, Dugu Yan and Oscar hurriedly pulled Ning Rongrong up. We will all be in the same academy in the future, so why talk about these things, Dugu Yan said comfortingly. And Lin Feng just looked at Ning Rongrong indifferently. It seems that Ning Rongrong is not a person who knows a favor but does not want to repay it. Ning Fengzi must have told her about the problems their family is facing. Now they have the support of the royal family and the Monster Academy. But the 7 treasures glazed tile sect can only choose one of the 2 and be loyal to it. Now, judging from Ning Rongrong's performance, Ning Fengzi has made a decision. Okay, you guys go back and rest for 2 days, Lin Feng said immediately. On the other side, not an academy. Hey, why haven't I seen the master and the boy beside him recently? Yeah, I haven't seen them for a long time. I heard that they went to watch the elite competition before, but they should be back soon. Who cares about them? It's just right that they don't come back. They talk about some self-righteous truths every day. I'm so annoyed. Don't say it. If the dean hears this, you will be punished. Several people were talking in the academy cafeteria while eating. 3 days later, the Monster Academy opened its doors. There were many people standing in the huge playground at this time. In addition to the 3 teams that arrived at Wuhan City the day before yesterday, 11 reserve teams came from all directions in the past 2 days. Students, let's give a warm round of applause to welcome the students from various colleges. On the podium, Flanders' voice spread through the microphone to the entire playground. This time, our Monster Academy has admitted a total of 4 new students in the new round of enrollment. They are, at the same time, Dean Lin has also prepared a gift for all exchange students that only freshmen can have, 1 pill for each person to improve soul power. Now, please ask your senior Lin Jian to distribute it to everyone, Flanders continued to say with great enthusiasm. No, the dean of this Monster Academy is so generous. I heard that his name seems to be Lin Feng. Dean Lin? Right, yes. Hey, look at the pill in senior Lin Jian's hand. Isn't that something that can only be bought at an auction for hundreds of thousands of gold soul coins? Lin Jian, is he the one whose soul power reached the Soul King in the elite competition? This Monster Academy is so powerful. Suddenly, the voices of the various colleges off the field kept talking. And Lin Feng, who was standing on the other side of the podium, quickly swept his eyes over everyone. As expected, they were members of the reserve team. There were more than 20 people who had reached the 7th level of innate soul power. Although there were not many people with innate soul power at the 8th or 9th level, there were 5 or 6 of them. Seeing this, Lin Feng nodded with satisfaction. These people will be the backbone of the academy in the future. Then, Lin Feng set his eyes on these talented people one by one. At this time, someone started something. Dean Lin? Dean Lin? The shouts of admiration for Lin Feng instantly resounded throughout the main playground. The pills that increased soul power were something that their previous academies could not even think of. And Lin Feng just smiled slightly at this. What they didn't know was that the money for the purchase of the spiritual medicine was paid by their academy anyway. Then, after Lin Feng finished his brief speech, Flanders and Zhao Wuji took everyone back to their respective dormitories. The next day, the scorching sun shone on the earth, and the surface of the training ground was also burned a little hot. Sit up straight. Why are you still practicing if you are afraid of this little bit of heat? The people who were taught by Dugu Yan, Yi Lingling and others imitated Zhao Wuji and Lin Shui and others who scolded the exchange students of each team. Teacher, I want to challenge you. Why is it that the people from your monster academy next to you are taught by your teachers, and we are taught by your reserve team? Finally, a few people couldn't stand it anymore and stood up to question. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.